I'm up alongside our co-host. You know the lady in the house. See her there. Maria, how you doing?
I am good, my brother. Greetings to all the people in the chat and on the World Wide Web. Happy Sunday.
Yes,
Happy
but
Sunday, Herb.
Hi, happy Sunday to you all and to all your listeners. I see they've been on since 6 o'clock. That is
bro.
amazing.
And them,
These
but
people
them
are
wait on us,
Yeah,
you
motivated.
know.
yeah.
Them wait on
Let
us.
me,
All
I
right,
think I have
Roger,
to
I'm
make
going to call
live
in
for me.
because
Hold on,
remember,
hold
say I
on.
have some visitor. So I'm going to call in. Yeah, I'm soon call in. So I'm going to call in and talk, you know, when I'm done. All right, so yeah, we're going to start that thing now because, you know, me say, I think a couple days ago, me say a MP from St. Mary, I push out something and do a PR because them give 100 kids back to school. And that hurt me, you know. And it don't go show the economy are going the wrong way. And it don't go show you the worthlessness of the government. Because if you say you have free education and you run upon these things, and you have to turn on and get 100 kids free tuition for pay, you have to find them tuition for pay the school. That for sure, me rather them family, them mother, them father have a job that them can do what parents supposed to do. Not you. More than you want post and do PR. That means in your constituency it's bad. A lot of people have no work in there. And them can't pay even if them do a little hand to mouth. Them can't even pay the little tuition. It's bad. And it's something for you to PR and not you they say.
Exactly. And like we have been saying, from a couple shows now about having agencies and the importance of agencies. Because when you have agencies, they will be there in perpetuity. And it doesn't matter which administration comes into power, there will always be a budget for these agencies. And for the parents who find themselves in situations that they need help, instead of depending on the member of parliament and the constituency development fund, which is of no use, they would go through the agencies and the agencies would not be politicized. So whether PNP or JLP government, like you have the NHT will always be there because people pay into it, whether there's a PNP or JLP government. So you need these kinds of agencies in place. And to do a back to school and then use it as a PR, that's a disgrace because you don't have to use the children to promote what? What is he saying? Because it's not his money that he's given to the children.
No.
It's the
No.
taxpayers' money. So it's taxpayers that are sending children back to school and not the member of parliament or minister of government. Always the taxpayers' dollar.
Yes.
You know, I saw earlier this week on I think CVM that the what's the name of that MP replaced Portia? She was mayor.
Brownberg.
Brownberg, yeah.
Brownberg, yes, Brownberg.
She was complaining that there's not enough money in the fund, right? The community development fund that they have to use. She says some communities are larger than others, and some communities really need a lot more money, while a small community, a small numbers of people, don't need the same $20 million that everybody else is getting. But I don't think she's going to get any listeners on that. Everybody wants every penny that they can get. Now, as far as using people in a manner that is unsavory and embarrassing to them, that should never happen. So, yes, I agree, Maria. You do need an agency that can that you can designate to that agency what you want done with the funds in your community. And then people with their dignity intact can go to that agency, talk to them, tell them what their issues are or problem is, and see if they can get relief. See if they meet the conditions for relief that is set down for them to get that money. You know, you shouldn't have somebody parading through your office and put them on video, right?
And put rag under them frock.
Yes.
To get the help to send back your kids go to school or get the help for your grandmother or for yourself. Them thing that for stop. A country cannot run like this. It need to stop. If you think about
bad.
2030, if you think about 2030 vision, that are one of the vision where if you have agency, even work agency too, you know, where you apply for a job, then pay if you come apply for the job or do something. Same like in Canada, UK and US and them thing there. Them need to put them in place. And you know have to chat to no politician. So when a politician, when a party in power, and you can't see the work for yourself, nobody can trick you. You look if your garbage are clean, but you look no garbage now pick up, but them allocated money for it, but them packet it. Okay? And I get rich. And you look for your health system, and when you look where you go there, I'll be a rat and roach around through your thing and crab louse and everything. And so you know, you say, okay, them not doing work. You understand? And you look on the road, not clean up neither. You know, you look on the education system, the same old building and everything, and then man come post up. You hold them accountable. Jamaican forget real. Yeah? And me say something too now. In my opinion, right? You know, Andrew are the worst thing we ever happened to Jamaica as a prime minister. And no joke me make. Him are the worst. Him are the liarest man who ever walk the face of the earth. Me tell him this a million times. No joke me make. And not like me a skin teeth or is a joke me make about it. Him lie. Him lie about him great grandmother. Him lie about him mother and him father because it cannot be true. And I remember me have all the videos them to prove, you know. Remember, and I like me just come out and say you lie, so you know, sir. You say one thing you saw, you say the next thing you saw, and the next thing over there, so they go next thing. That like the house when pop down, right? And him say gang, and him say him get it from in National Council, right? And a gang hold it and I sell it, and some of them live in it, and have soldier and police. Then him come back the next day and say, I repeat, there's no gang, no squatters living there after him mash down the lady them house. And when you look at Brown Ward, your principal of the school where you have down there sell the land to the people them. What happened to our case? Because these are the things, no, me have to ask, you know, me have to ask. Because we don't go sit them, put her in a court one little time and say, that girl, it could be like $2 billion. We not hear nothing else. So, on the judge, we are watching, you know. Remember, you know, we are build the watches and we are get through with that now. So, we soon start to use that and be a foreign lawyer and thing we are use against, you know. I remember, you know, the feds and them, we never get grabbed, you know, because we serious, we never bought nobody serious like this panel. Never. Yeah? All right. Maria, before me show this video, where you take on that and only and him lioness. Because I'm going to show you something, you know. I'm going to ask something to you too. Me the rather, you know, the other day when them in 2013, when them did that run, me I feel in myself say, if all the sharded in place, him couldn't so wicked like all this. Me not feel so. Me feel he's a better person than all this, you know. All the shy, you know. Because I'm more old school, you know. And I like people who make mistakes, but we're honest and vindictive. Him, if you vote against him, then he'll come after you, him do all kind of thing, that kind of foolishness. You understand? And try to clean up the place. I don't think Adi should be a better leader. Yeah, what's your take on that?
Yes, I agree. Audley Shaw is old school politician. He respected the Constitution. He had respect for the has respect for the Jamaican people. And he has a different brand of politics from, his politics is not bombastic. His politics, in my opinion, is more policy driven, legislative driven. It might be different from what maybe I am thinking, but he was really, he's an old school politician. Andrew Holness is not. And of all the leaders that Jamaica have seen, and yes, they are on both sides, they are guilty of, you know, all kinds of improprieties. Andrew Holness takes the cake. He is the absolute worst. Everybody says the same thing. He's the absolute worst. And it would have been a better, I think would have been having a better conversation had Audley Shaw been the person in the leadership position right now, because he has nothing to prove like Andrew Holness, because he has been through the system. As a matter of fact, Audley Shaw paid his dues. Andrew Holness did not. So Andrew Holness came up and he was just, you know, he was just excited, and they put him in this position of power that he was ill-equipped for and still is ill-equipped for. But Audley Shaw He has leadership qualities. He has the skills necessary to be a leader. So if the Jamaica Labour Party is really serious about being an honest political organization, Audley Shaw is a better, way better politician than Andrew Holness.
You take her.
I have to agree with Maria, because here you have Audley Shaw, better temperament. He's been around a long time. He's more people person, right? He does not go out and show off his shoes. He doesn't have to show off how he gets from point A to B. He doesn't have to tell people who he is, right? People naturally respect him. And so when you have an individual like that who is respected and who shows respect to others, and he's not boastful, then I believe you have the qualities of a leader that you need, and you know that the people are going to respond to his desires. Now, with the Holness, we got a problem, right? We have a man that has skirted the law. We have a man that's been pushing contracts. He's been currying favor with one person or another. He and his wife been getting rich, been pushing projects across people's property with their own property, and they couldn't care less. And this is what I'm saying, you know, a couple like that is dominating the scene, and that you would think that they're only in for a 4-year period. They're in for 8 years. So they're going to be dominating the scene for 8 years, and God forbid they get another 4, right? There may be nothing left in the treasury by the time they're through. So we need people to be reactive to this session that the party is in power, and to do the right thing next time coming around. You don't have to give all the power to one party with an overwhelming number. But the problem is, when you do that, then you're in a fight to see what gets passed and what does not get passed. And then you have to monitor the party in power to ensure that they're doing the right things that the people want. And this is basic politics 101, right? Now, for a long time, these two have been investigated or accused of one thing or another, and we don't see any movement by the DPP, who they're now currying further favor with by allowing her to stay till 70, right? We see, again, the Governor General putting his rubber stamp, right, out there and stamping his approval so the DPP can remain. I'm hoping something happens with that letter that Mr. Radigan sent to London, that the king will come back and say, no, this GG, you gotta go, right? But that is hope against all hope, because as long as the prime minister is there and he has any say so, he is, and the rest of his Robin Hood crew are getting the butts covered by this PPP, and I don't think she's gonna go anywhere. I would be shocked if the king came back with anything negative. So let's just pray that somebody is gonna see our plight and try to reach out and help. If not, then we're gonna have to take the fight to them, like
right.
we're trying.
All right, Herb. So God, Monsieur say, the shot can be just in my liar like, but nobody no like Honest. And I like the shot, slip up or something, but we compare him to Honest. Because somebody have to lead the Labour Party, someone have to lead it, right? You can't put him to Honest to care what him do, man. Let me play something and show you Skullduggery. Watch this.
Of Jamaica Labour Party supporters turned out at the Manchester High School in rainy weather on Sunday, September 29, for the launch of the leadership campaign of contender Audley Shaw. Shaw would speak for just under 30 minutes on his plans and potential should he be elected in the face-off with incumbent Andrew Holness, but not before a series of endorsements and some blunders too by JLP officials.
Central Clarendon we come from. Liberate with their official leader and the next Prime Minister of Jamaica. Man a yard, man abroad, anywhere you go, a man a lead with. Man with cholesterol, man with experience, man with love girl, man a yard.
We are tired. We are tired of being in opposition. We are here today. We are here today to ensure that when the next elections are called, we will become government.
And once you are that leader of this great party that is bringing forward love and unity, we are not going to stop. We start campaigning as of then because it is victory. PMP, goodbye.
The true winner is not going to be Holness or Shaw. The true winner is going to be the Jamaica Labour Party. It's not that we love Holness less, but that we love the Jamaica Labour Party more.
Let me take out the mic and talk.
Hear this.
I want a leader who not intimidated by bright people when them round him. I not say I bright, you know.
Well, I'm going to hear about that again. Okay, I'm hear about that little piece. I'm like, hear that. Did it sound good?
A leader who not intimidated by bright people when them round him. I not say I bright, you know. But enough bright people in the Labour Party. I want a leader who is going to work with everybody because everybody have a role to play. Whether you're a brown man, money man, NDM farmer, PNP farmer, once you join the Labour Party team, you're part of the Labour Party and you must work to make sure we get rid of the PNP.
We take great pride in endorsing the Honorable Audley Fitzgerald Shaw.
Audley Fitzgerald Shaw, Fitzalbert Shaw, our main speaker. I take this opportunity personally to endorse his candidacy for the position of leader of the Jamaica Labour Party, not only on my own behalf, but on behalf of thousands of party supporters and delegates all over the island.
I welcome and accepted the invitation from a media house for a national debate with Mr. Andrew Holness, the party leader. A national debate. And I welcome that debate to take place before the leadership elections at any time, any venue.
So O'Neill right there, so you see him right, that's all right. Look on my left hand side, where that be on your right hand side, you see him? See him there? The darkest one there, O'Neill lad. Yeah man, watch out.
On any topic of the choice of Mr. Holness or the media house. My brothers and sisters, wrapped up in my decision to run for leadership of the Jamaica Labour Party is my firm belief that the people's voice must be heard in the party and in Jamaica.
Yeah, in the party, but they're not be heard now, you know. Must be heard. Okay.
Once our voices are heard, we can achieve victory, not just for the JLP, but victory for all Jamaicans. And the ultimate victory which we will achieve is to fulfill our vision of a peaceful and prosperous society. These are the 3 V's of success and moving forward. The voice of the people to be heard, the victory for democracy in the JLP and Jamaica, and the fulfillment of our collective vision to build a new Jamaica. We need a reformed public sector bureaucracy to simplify doing business in Jamaica. We must make it easier to pay taxes.
And I know that not doing, you know. Yeah. That's why I say you have to play these things and you hold them to it. I know that not doing, you know.
What year was this?
You have a different vision.
What year was this?
2013.
Oh, wow.
That's so. Yeah, this is when them are run back for the thing, yeah, 2013. I remember them did run for this and then you hear the threat and one bag of foolishness. You know?
Receive pension benefits for our pensioners and receive justice and protection from the state.
Receive justice and protection from the state. But I want to see him and I put this in a place. But then they get justice and protection, then get abused from the state and the unjustness. There's also a state of emergency. Yeah. All right. So me don't want to see, you know, if him that do something, if him that do the same thing. Me not think so. Well,
we must encourage more equity investment by promoting a vibrant stock market, including the expansion of the junior stock exchange. I said to Peter Phillips, I hear that the IMF want you to lock down the junior stock exchange. I said to Peter Phillips, don't do it. I said to the cabinet of Jamaica, don't lock down the junior stock exchange. It is a source of expansion and job creation that is taking place in the economy now since I established it when I was Minister of Finance. May God bless all of you and may God bless Jamaica, land we love. Thank you very much. I love you.
Okay. So I'm still the election go now. I'm going to the election and then we go. You know, me I wonder, you see me I talk about Marie? You remember say them, but instead of them get abused. Look here.
Beat his contender Audley Fitz-Albert Shaw to retain his post as leader of the 70-year-old Jamaica Labour Party.
I'm going to run it back.
Andrew Michael Holness on Sunday, November 10, beat his contender Audley Fitz-Albert Shaw to retain his post as leader of the 70-year-old Jamaica Labour Party. From very early, delegates turned out at the National Arena in Kingston, eager to cast their ballots, and there was widespread support for both Shaw and Holness.
I believe in Andrew. With Andrew, we have no fear. Andrew is here.
When Holness arrived on the grounds 30 minutes before the close of polls, his fans grew even more excited.
You hear what Shaw accuse him of? So you know, it's a gangster kind of style, you know. Just hear what Shaw accuse him of. Just listen.
However, the elections would not go as smoothly as planned. At one point, officials of the Electoral Office of Jamaica had to abandon their posts when Labourites wearing Holness-labeled T-shirts overran the voting center.
Overran a voting center. In does talk about dead people and vote, but yes, till 2013, you have other people overran the voting center. You hear the kind of disrespect and everything? Go and listen.
7 busloads of people who are not delegates of this party. Mr. Holness joined them up there and walked through the crowd, overran the whole place, went down to the area for registration, overran that area. The electoral supervisors had to leave and abandon their station, and there was disruption for half an hour until we had to restore it and allow some more people to vote. Okay? What he has done is irresponsible and is outrageous and is unworthy of him as leader of the Jamaica Labour Party.
Okay. That out of the way, Team Shaw was soon in celebration mode when Warren Newby brought news that they were in for the win. But that celebration would be short-lived as Holness was declared the winner by 692 votes.
The winner of this election with 2,704 votes is Andrew Michael Holness.
Both Holness and Shaw later told Labourites that democracy was alive and well in the JLP.
So you see it for yourself, right?
Yeah.
I'll show you one more thing too, you know. I'll show you one more thing.
Hey, according to what Dr. Dayton Campbell was saying, when was that murder plot hatched against the Prime Minister?
I'm going to show that too. I'm going to show you.
Okay.
I'm going to show you. So this is 2013, and then them try to move Atneel upon Shah side. So them try to move Atneel and take away him seat, and you know, him was caretaker, and then them carry them a court, and then film name come up in that too and everything. So I'm going to show you. So show you. So I can see this now. Them they still have something going on after this, after the delegate. So them do this. This is what them do after.
As leader of the Jamaica Labour Party JLP. On Monday, Mr. Holness easily won a secret ballot which decided his fate as JLP leader. 20 of the JLP's 21 members of parliament gathered at the party's Belmont Road headquarters in Kingston to cast their ballots except Deputy Leader J.C. Hutchinson. Mr. Hutchinson was absent due to ill health. However, he sent his ballot in a letter. CNews understands that at least 2/3 of the caucus voted for Holness. 13 of the MPs supported him remaining as their leader, while 7 opposed. It's reported that these 7 who opposed include those who had supported Audley Shaw over Mr. Holness for leader in the November 2013 contentious leadership battle. Our sources say James Robertson, Audley Shaw, Marissa Dalrymple Philbert, Delroy Chuck, Gregory Mayer and Darrell Vaz all voted against Holness remaining as party leader. Veteran JLP member and MP for Northwest St. Andrew Derek Smith chaired Monday's meeting. He explains that members were not pleased with Holness's handling of the Senate saga. Mr. Holness booted Dr. Christopher Tufton and Arthur Williams from the Senate in 2013. However, both the Constitutional Court and the Appellate Court agreed that Mr. Holness's actions were unconstitutional and unlawful.
As a result of the appeal court turning down the request, we thought it prudent to have a meeting with all the MPs just for a look at the result and how it will impact on not just the party but Mr. Holness's leadership. So we met yesterday morning, some 20 of 21. Mr. Hutchinson unfortunately was unavoidably absent. And after a few hours of general discussion, we agreed to have a poll in regards to the continuance of Mr. Holness as leader of the opposition. That was done, and he came out. He got the majority votes, and he came out on top. So he's assured a very comfortable difference between who supported from who did not.
Mr. Smith would not comment on the 7 MPs who purportedly opted against Holness, but he hopes Monday's meeting will silence the bickering that has been plaguing the party's image.
I would hope so. One can't be entirely sure, but I would hope so, and I am hopeful based on the mood of the meeting and the general comments within the ranks. There will be, I suspect, some continuance, but surely not at the level that it has been.
So after this, them do a thing named sweep house. So after this, because this is 2013, 2014, 2015. So you want to see the thing. So Atneel first, you remember two member of parliament and 1 former member of parliament. So the former member of parliament, them say he was a part of that. We never find finger. So we don't know what's going on, but make me show you. So them did move him first in 2014 too. Let me show you it. Yeah. Yeah, remember see this now. Yeah, remember see this. See it? Them did move him and them sue them.
This is what you did. This is Aja news, right? All right. This is November the 13th, 2014. Former MP to sue opposition party. Okay. Atneel Lawrence. Okay. Now watch this now. Former member of parliament for the constituency of Northwest St. Anne's, Atneel Lawrence, is suing opposition Jamaica Party JLP leader Andrew Wellness and General Secretary Dr. Crab, following a decision by the party to remove him as caretaker of the constituency. The party wrote to Lawrence earlier this week informing him that he was no longer the representative for the constituency. Lawrence will be filing a lawsuit against the party challenging the constitutionality of the decision to remove him. In the affidavit, he contends that the decision to replace him in a breach of the party constitution, and as a result, he's seeking an injunction blocking his removal. Hugh Wildman, Lawrence's attorney, told RJR News that the action taken by Dr. Crab, Wellness, and Dr. Crab is unfair to Lawrence, who has strong support in the constituency. The former member of parliament is contending in his affidavit that he was removed because of his support of Adi Shah in the party leadership race last year. So let's see what I want to say.
So that happened, and then this now. This is what you asked me about now. This is what you asked me about. Let me run this, and I'll show you what you asked me about. So in that now, this, you notice this November, right? 2014. Yeah. So the one where you asked me about that I want to know. One that you asked me about. See that? So everything documented in there. See that?
Yes. Jamaica Cleaner connection. I think them are going to scrub them things again. I'm going to see them log in. But let me see with this, with them I carry.
Share them with the support, Sha. See that?
3 man face. Let me see with the type of them titles or so. 2 sitting Jamaica Labour Party JLP members of Parliament MP and 1 former member of Parliament are determined to clear their names after fingers were pointed at them in the alleged plot to kill opposition leader Andrew Wellness and JLP Secretary Dr. Crab. Photo: Darrell O'Neill, James Robertson leaving a police briefing last Friday. File and a seat file. So these things I want to see in a day. I want to see it, not my word, you know, because I like read my things and things. So, I not well on there. But I got to when I listen here. So, all right.
So, see them that remove to clear them name. You see it? You see it now, Herb?
Yeah, and that was that 2014?
No, that was 2015.
2015.
2014, when O'Neill said, file a lawsuit. Yeah? And because they want to move him from the seat as a caretaker, and it was illegal. So Wellness and Crab were moving.
So,
but so yeah, after the election 2013. Like you know, personal vendetta. It looked like most like personal vendetta, like you can't do something against him, then just move you. It's like some mafia boss.
Yeah. And Andrew been fighting dirty all along, right?
Well, on the seat, well, him raiding at the place. Shaw, not my word. Shaw said with 7 busload of people raiding there. You see them have to move up and where him do. So, yeah, him like a dirty fighting there. Yeah?
Yeah.
You see me I say?
And he most likely when he went after that court case probably got Vaz's what do you call it, loyalty afterwards.
Because this now what I'm doing, I have to cut some deal and everything because O'Neill, O'Neill in 2015, after this, when them said them clear them name, that's the 15th of February, and by the 26th, I have it right as to him say, him gonna drop the case because Mike Henry talked to him. And then by 2018, 2019, somewhere there, so you remember over CMU now, them give him a job for $5 million to be, for the start to an attached youth. And then real greed get it. He never fight him get it. They them know what them and them do what them are doing, but them them skullduggery and them foolishness. We know that. We have the people, we have the things that I will see how it runs. So we there we can just hold them and see how they move and everything. Can you remember, as me tell you, so we have great men, we study people, places, animals, and things. So So we see how they move and you know the behavior of them. You understand? We have great minds on here. Different, you know, we keep it with one here. Where's Maria? You see what happened on the ground?
Yeah, what I'm realizing is that Andrew has been practicing his wanton disregard for the Constitution from in the JLP. Because if he has no respect for the Jamaica Labour Party Constitution and did what he did, how then can he have respect for the Jamaican Constitution as a Prime Minister? So he only transferred that level of disregard from the local level to the national level. So this is something he has been doing for a very long time and getting away with it. And even though he was taken to court, it was the court's rule that he was in the wrong for doing what he did to those two members of parliament, Lawrence and Val.
Yes.
So I don't understand for the life of me how they can still have faith in somebody like Andrew Holness. And then you see, the thing is, when I say Audley Shaw would have been a better leader, in Jesus, I don't expect him to walk on water, but he has experience. And that is important in a leader. Experience, one who understands the Constitution, one who understands how legislation works, how legislation must be drafted, one who understands policies. Andrew Holness does not understand policies. And as a matter of fact, I would dare to say Audley Shaw I would believe, is more respected in the international community than Andrew Holness is right now. And he would be, even as we speak. Andrew Holness he wanted power by any means necessary, though he's ill-equipped to deal with that power. Because for him, power means all I can get for myself. For Audley Shaw, in my opinion, power means how he can better the lives of the Jamaican people. So I would have preferred to see an Audley Shaw who has the experience, who is adept at politics and governance, and who also is, like Herb says, a people person, who has respect for the people respect him. Andrew Holness, not so much.
What I can understand, though, is with all of this love for Jamaica, and the respect that Shaw and the old timers them get, why nobody has stood up strongly for Jamaica? Why do they watch these people just enrich themselves mightily, and the poor people, the 2 million that live at the poverty level, can't eat right? Why do they tolerate that? And this man getting richer and richer.
All right, so hear this now. So you have the little Nazi PSOJ. We can't leave them out of the picture. So them now want somebody for a puppet where them can control and step in at the people them neck. So them get a puppet, Andrew Holness. Them have a puppet. You notice, you hear Christopher Tufton come out and say, you know, when he stand up in front of bright people and turn like jackass, I said or something. You hear him say it, right?
Yeah.
Good. So when them catch him now, him can't do anything, kick back, do any kind of little thing, because me did hear Leaching come out already and tell about them they come out at about 3,000 acres and about for a plant. Remember them come out, Leaching come out with that? Yeah. And him catch these people. Yeah, because they can't take an interest, because you still have to deal with the bank and still have to deal with all kind of things. You catch Adams, you put him on a board. You catch Leaching, put him on a board. You catch a man from Grace Kennedy, put him on a board. You put all these people on board, but you still have to look out for them private sector interests. And that bothers me. You understand? It bothers me a lot. Because these people are looking out for them company interests, I mean, I ask, who wouldn't do it? You understand? And I like them say, hey, we have to take a leave, and we have to do this. Them are run them things same, and yesterday I put them on all kind of things. It's shocking. Yeah? A country where so corrupted and not even one of the big boy them in the lockup. Not even one. Money laundering and all kind of things are going every day and not even one. So like, we have to question these things. But all you hear every day from them.
But that's the failure of our Google Gaga to be effective.
Google can't be effective.
Right, Maria? This man was the National Security Advisor. So that means he had to have his ear to the ground. He had to have been in the know and know what's going on. Right? Instead, it turns out he's just another sidekick like the deputy prime minister.
Crab.
Crab.
Yeah. Crab.
Yeah, they're not getting anything done. They're just guarding the hen house.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, man.
But the same, by extension, Wayne, by extension, you talk about, you know, putting all these heads of corporate Jamaica on these boards. The same thing applies to the Integrity Commission, because the oversight committee for the Integrity Commission has the people who they are investigating. So you have the Integrity Commission who will investigate the ministers and the parliamentary secretaries and the permanent secretaries and all these other heads of corporate Jamaica. But when they're finished and they do a report, it now goes to the oversight committee. Guess who is on the oversight committee? The very people that they're investigating. You know, so like Terb said, the fox is watching the hen house. So they're policing themselves. So why there's absolutely no faith in the political directorate in corporate Jamaica right now, because the corruption runs deep and it goes right back to the DPP with all these things in her face. I mean, the Integrity Commission report, you have all these cost overruns, billions of dollars. You have one member of parliament with an $800 million project, you know, and she's there doing, what is she doing? And with all these cases, these court cases lagging in the court system, why is she yet to prosecute them? So, you know, she serves no purpose. She'll be there for another how many years to cover their asses, basically.
But what you don't understand, let me show you something and then we answer. Look at now. You know who for husband is this? Look at who are the man for the board. For the Ganja License Authority, this, right? See, you see the year 2020, 21? Look who, you know, find somebody and give them job, you know. You see who for husband that upon the name Flynn. You see him name? That are the one they see me, same face, yeah? Same face, yeah? You see? These are the one where from up we're faced with people. What's your name again? The one where you used to run.
You mean Juliet Cuthbert?
Flynn, fear husband.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
One to other people, them can't get a job. So them people are just husband and wife and all kind of things, and me could have give you a job. And then you are drawing your husband, you're drawing your picnic, you're drawing this. Same like girl greed. Because them are go down for your wife, they have no shame. You are going to have for your wife involved in it and your daughter involved in a scam that police have to charge them to. You're mad. You're crazy. That them carry all woman. Remember, not my word. The woman come up and remember, we have the video. The woman come up and say, yes, no, them can go open their account. I'm going to get 30,000. Then when them draw $1 million, them carry and then take back the book from me. Eh? You could have, you know, something like draw your wife and your kid in the same kind of things, man. And then people are run behind these people. None of them now go prison, man. This bad. We are going to change it. This have to change. Yeah, and by the way, if Shaw win, lose, or draw, but say you'd have a Shaw, I wouldn't think you'd have a creation of no Google Gaga about them. You understand? Because where Google Gaga come from, you have General Lampile. You understand? Maybe you have a Brooks, the Magla. Because that's just a madly, you know. See? Theater about SSP and take police job. But Google Gaga go. Google Gaga no police. Google Gaga police, Maria? You see Google Gaga as a police?
No, Sir Google Gaga is not a police. He's just a member of the JDF who should retire, go into retirement, take care of his grandchildren, and live out, live his life as a private citizen. Leave the work of policing to the people who can do it, like a Rowan James. You know, the same thing applies to Dennis Brooks. He should not be in the position that he is right now. Leave it to the young officers who work their way up the rank. There are qualified people within the Jamaica Constabulary Force who can do a better job right now than they are doing. But they're not given the opportunity, because if they get the opportunity, they will hold people accountable, and they don't want that. So they have to put their friends and cronies in those positions to keep Jamaica down and to keep the corruption going, because it benefits them. And they're getting their piece of the action because the amount of corruption that is happening in Jamaica right now, and no one is being held accountable, it is mind-boggling. It could happen no place else. No, look what's happening in Niger. Okay, people are saying that, you know, US government and France want to, you know, go in and do whatever. But look at what the people on the ground in Niger are saying, that the government has been for too long being dishonest to them while enriching themselves. And so they have decided to take matters into their own hands. Can you blame them? No, you can't blame them. Do you see a situation like that happening in Jamaica?
Quite easily. Quite easily.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
You have a point where you get fed up. So fed up. And what scares me is people taking the law into their own hands when they get to the point of being totally fed up. And when you have police that's not doing their job, they can't function. I'm still saying, with all these assistant commissioners and the people up under them in their areas, if they take the law seriously, what's to stop them from enforcing the law and forcing the people that they arrest to look bad in the media, to look bad in the press, right? Let them say how they're getting off. Let them say if the DPP is cutting them loose. But force the issue. Make the arrest. If you have the evidence, you make the arrest. It's just like we've been waiting forever now for the Prime Minister's lawyer, somebody to answer to the man that got killed inside his house. And all we can get is a bunch of different stories by C-Talk. So who's going to make the arrest? You know, is the lawyer going to go down for it? Or is there somebody else responsible that we're not aware of? Somebody that they was in the house, somebody that they had fingerprints on, right? Why can't they show some transparency once and for all with that case or any other case concerning the friends around the Prime Minister? You know, why can't they push ahead with a prosecution because the Integrity Commission prosecutor failed to do her job, right? You have to set the example at some point. And if you have to set the example with the big man, so to speak, the PM himself, then so be it. But we don't see them making an effort to do that. You know, everybody's just talking and no action. And that's crazy. And people are down there starving and they're still talking.
Right, right. And therein lies the problem, Herb, because nobody doing all those things at that level is yet to be held accountable. And you have a DPP who just runs her mouth and runs her mouth. When you have the cases sitting right in front of her, why is she yet to prosecute them? And that's a question that the media, the local media in Jamaica needs to ask of this district director of public prosecutions. Why are you yet to prosecute these people? What is happening with SSL? My goodness, you have somebody like Usain Bolt. Everybody else whose money is tied up in SSL need an answer. But look at Usain Bolt. So much of this young man's money. He went and he held Jamaica's flag so high, higher than Andrew Holness, higher than all the government political directorate combined. And this can happen to him. Why is why has the DPP yet to do something to get to the bottom of why his money was stolen? Nothing, no word on what is happening at SSL. And she has gotten a fat increase while the members of her staff are underpaid and overworked.
Yes.
And here she is sitting. What is her job? What is her duty? Who is she supposed to be working on behalf of, the government or the people of Jamaica? Because if she's a defense attorney for the government, then she needs to demit the DPP's office. And I think if she has no shame, or if she has any shame, you know, and any decency, she should just step aside. Because the office will operate without her. They don't need her for it to be effective. they need for her to go so it can be more effective.
That is what them selling now. Say, you know, like she effective. And yes, still she have a glow rate. You know, just the other day 52, them they got 52. Remember at school somebody named Straight Lane. You said nobody go to prison. I remember Cuban light bulb. And say 2 parties. So you use 1 light bulb. But remember, them did have in a 2008. I mean, I remember this. Can be 1 light bulb and 1 everything. But let me tell you something. That they try in a court. Same like Adams. When me not agree with judge, but judge try something and let go. So you don't use 1 thing where go to court, but I know barely nobody. A matter of fact, them say him is not a suspect. These are the things we're talking about. We're talking about SSL. Nobody not chat to him now. So not like him try and him get away because you have criminal getaway of a case, you know. We know that. So if them they try and get away, we could have said, okay, them try them and get away. You understand? Which you can, because of them break down the case. Because first of all, they have chin and you have the next person in a light bulb. And when you look, them come in, she come in 2008, the first thing them do is cut thing with chin and give him contract, $1 million contract, and he was part of light bulb. So the whole light break down and you still them fight, and when you look, people walk. Okay? This barely not get no trial. SSL man, them not chat to him. When you look at not even the teacher man, them are no from when 2019, them carrying Grail Greed. I know that at 2023, you know what people going to prison? For thief all mango. For block stoplight and disrespect police like when them attack, and you know what people going to prison since then? I know that man not get a trial yet. I know. See the house where them brought down and say gangsters. What happened? What happened? A brown ward. Them get bail for 2 million. You hear anything else happen? Eh? And we can go on and go on. So when you hold on for 1 thing, that got through court. And like we in a way judge are doing, you know, because we burn it. Because we're not supposed to spend a cent. So when you attack, you attack straight. When you run as attack straight, because if you attack straight, you know it go on yourself. I'm a matter of fact, we don't know talking neither. Because we don't do no long talking. We don't have no time for no. We have to talk straight and talk clear. That's why Jamaica stay like how it stay. 1 government at a time. And when we say arms out, we burn it, we're not boy and a friend. And we're not big friend. You understand? We don't do politics, we're not big friend. We just burn them and go through straight. You understand? Peanut, none of them. All know. Not even a case. Patrick Bailey, all know. The coke where them find. All know. A matter of fact, the man come out and say, people are going to get charged. Bailey, you come out the other day and you say people are going to get charged, you know. And you just have work out papers. All know paper no work out, all know. Nearly 1 year. $4 billion worth of coke in our airport. A matter of fact, them put them in a duffel bag. These are the things going for look on you. When you don't play politics, when you come on here, you know. Can remember when a big friend, and I like when you can buy me out and them things. They be different from your side, you know. Me a big friend. We are talking about if you're Jamaican, when you go in, your government feed Jamaica. Me never say a rubber stamp my government of GLP and government of PMP. It not exists. And if you stop one like when I eat that, and a matter of fact, me good, you know. Me good, but me not good. You understand? Because if I want to head top, when I make things, when I better want to know about that, say nothing then. Because when I'm not saying sometime, you know, throw me off, you know. Look here, you have $12 billion after the coke port, you know, the biggest drug bus, you know. Then you have a $12 billion down at the wharf. You hear anything about it? But you can't run go for 2 little get a youth and lock them up and do all kind of little thing. You think why that? The same thing I tell you, the big boy, them are running the head and going like have some bosses slave. But if you have sense, if you have a light to run right across the board, look on the police man, when name Llewellyn.
Yeah.
For the Tranquil guy, they were just charge for the speed about the $2,000 about everything. And you see them politicians come and go to them friend call him. Them charge Vaz, them charge when them Fabs, and who them charge and him from Tranquil. Yeah? Well, the 3 of them gone, them just, well, the one that they get, them they find him guilty. Let go Vaz, let go the one from Tankwell, find him guilty, and then him appeal, and then them let him go. So it was a little sham. And then they make him come in back for one day and give him pension. Eh? Jamaica can't run so. Yeah? Hunger poor people pick them stepping at them neck. We know that the foolishness around here. Where's the earth?
Well, you know, we need policemen like the one that they messed over. What name? Forbes? Forbes.
So, no, the one with charge them are Llewellyn, you know.
Right.
Yeah, Llewellyn, yes. Them trimming at him. At him you need.
Well,
you need him like him, Ron James and them man. They said me if not got you, and me I try to bribe him. Me give me my ticket and me take my ticket. Come on, try to bribe him. Me not take a ticket. And then me now go drive for get my ticket. Me not drive and really take ticket and them thing. Me not see it, you know. So me now go get my ticket.
But the key thing is all these policemen know the secrets for these high-ranking PSOJ people as well as the politicians. So when something like this comes up, they need to wheel and deal. They need to let it out, because there are media outlets in Jamaica that will talk. And then you have our show, you have Rattigan show, and you have Jeffrey show that will bring it out to the public. So they need to start trusting us some more. Either that or we have to bust some big cases here, Wayne. I don't know what you think. Or if we bust a big case, maybe they finally come October, which is what, 2 months away?
Yes.
Get the Ministry of Finance leader, not finance, Ministry of Foreign Affairs leader. Get her case wrapped up. Right.
But remember, start Jamaica that thing about that's why I see why I put our chest to deal with them from overseas and things, because enough of the judge them corrupted. And I remember, you know, all right. So the place small. Even that's why enough of the ghetto youth them have the chance. I'm gonna tell you something.
Yeah.
Very important. You see, sometimes them blame the ghetto youth and want to fling something upon them, and them do it, you know. We know this. And when them fling the thing upon you, you don't have the money, you sink, because they will put murder on you and put other things on you. It happen. Them know what me attack. I remember me I win. Me know them. Me not ask them. I can't call name and thing. Me not ask them. So it happen. Okay. All right. You see the lawyer them. Sometimes them just name me out because one of them a friend and them and judge a friend and what have you. Them know say don't send you a prison. Guilty. Or you know guilty. Them just say you make him hold it, you know, because you want to clear the money. And them just send it by you because them just took by your family backbone and everything and you have your money and send you away. All these things wrong, you know. Them judge them lawyer for go to prison for these things, you know. No one to stand up for the little ghetto youth, them, you know. Use them and sing them. And all me I say, Jamaica cannot so corrupted, brother. And you have the big boys, them go up on board and thing, when you look no care what happen. Money laundering and $100 and $200, you know. Money laundering about 1,000 US, you know. Money laundering are the millions of US, where them are laundering all over the place. That's why I hear this, and the billions of dollars and the millions of dollars where them are laundering all over the place. Who them put it on? The poor man. Them stop you from collect your $100 and your $200 for your little granny medication and all kind of things. It will stop. Then for stop. You can't vote in people who are stepping on your neck. Them think that my man, it will stop now, man. Foolishness, man.
But Wayne, do you realize that when the government talk about money laundering and putting in place legislation to protect against money laundering, they put it off on poor people?
Yes.
But the American government, the British government, you know, European, they're not looking at the poor people in Jamaica, because poor people in Jamaica do not have the kind of money to launder. They're not doing the kinds of businesses that they need to be laundering money to avoid taxes, paying taxes and all of that. They're looking at the people that are on the boards that the government appoint. They're looking at government members as well as members of parliament. So the government use that to sidetrack from the real issue, and that feeds into the corruption that is rampant in Jamaica. Because if it was that the money laundering was being carried out by local poor people in Jamaica, we wouldn't have the kind of corruption that we do. No. But look at the level of corruption, and that will explain why Jamaica has a problem with money laundering. because the corruption is so bad. One department, $10 billion. $10 billion cost overrun. Now, when you have one department and $10 billion cost overrun, the project is not done, the money is gone, and whatever the money was allocated for, it still needs to be done. So where's that $10 billion going to come from?
No wonder they want to extend the Auditor General in place, right? Because the Auditor General not doing their job either. Their job is to get in there and see where the money went to. But that's not happening. And Jamaicans sit quietly. This is what I can't understand. Jamaicans too quiet over these issues.
That's why I against, you see, it's a small country. Me against, you see, when they keep them the session and them bungle up with the DPP not supposed to. You have to have some rules to separate these people. She not supposed to in the company. She in the company that senior DPP and other workers and them things. We don't want you in the company, a police, yeah, and you in the company that and the government. Members of government, because something happened, you have a pull string and you go to prison too. You understand? We don't want to see that. It will stop. It need to stop. We don't want to see none of them company there. When you look at big man, I learn something, you know, a little bar. You see DPP, you see member of parliament, you see member of the government, you see all kind of people they right there. So you are open on the corner shop, you ever see them yet? No. So them know each other. So if something are going with a money laundering or something, you think them she come and them cook up things for us go on, no. Then them lock the local media houses. So you know get the truth out of them. Them is just criminal. Like thing they again tie. Criminal them. So when them are criminal again tie, voting tie and all kind of things. Criminals. Yes, Daisy.
Yeah, but you know something, Wayne, not only is the DPP and the Auditor General not doing their job, the Ministry of Justice has the authority to investigate these things as well. But the Ministry of Justice is not independent, though it comes through the government and that person is appointed by the Prime Minister of the day. It has the authority to investigate this level of corruption. But if the leader is corrupt, the leader that appoints the minister who is in charge of the Ministry of Justice is corrupt, how then can they investigate and make the necessary arrests based on their investigation? How can they prosecute anybody found guilty of stealing from the public purse? The same thing goes for the Attorney General. What is the job of the Attorney General? You know, so it's like every agency in Jamaica only exists to pay the people that are leading these agencies, but it doesn't exist to hold anyone accountable and to make sure that the taxpayer dollar is being used for the purposes that it was allocated, and that when anybody runs afoul of the law, they are held accountable. None of the systems and that are in place are working, and that is why it is my hope that the legal fund that is coming on board will do the necessary investigations, and if it doesn't have prosecutorial powers, will make it so that whatever report comes from each investigation is made public to every agency, be it international or local, every media outlet, be it international or local. And if we have to shame them into doing better and shame them into the DPP especially to doing her job and hold people accountable, then let the chips fall where they may. But I really pray that the organization is equipped to do the investigations and make sure that people are held accountable by any means necessary.
Let me ask you something. In any time in history, you ever see so much poor people? I try to run through bad and I run all over the place yet. From out of Jamaica, if you call down in Panama, and I tell them turn back around 3,000 people. You ever see much people that try to run from Jamaica before? so much one time like in a 80 and them place there.
Jamaica never had refugees leaving Jamaica at the rate of what I'm seeing now. But it tells you that the people,
baby and everything.
Yeah, the people are desperate. They can't get no job, they can't get no food, and they can't survive. So the only thing they can do is get money from any source, maybe overseas, remittances, save it up, and make a run for it towards the border. Unfortunately, a lot of them getting stopped and being turned back, whether it's Panama or Mexico or wherever they're going to. And that's very unfortunate. It's a very sad situation. A lot of people out there, and them don't have nothing to fall back on. So you can imagine you getting sent back home and you don't blow $3,000 to $10,000 trying to get in the United States, right? So what do you have to fall back on? Yeah, but I hope that you have somebody in the diaspora that can help out, because you're gonna starve.
Yeah.
Exactly, Herb, and also it's an indictment on the government, because they are sitting there with their 300 and 200% salary increase, while minimum wage is bare minimum, because by the time they collect that money, it is spent out in bus fare. And teachers, some of them can hardly, as a matter of fact, when they talk about an increase and there are no new taxes, that is not true, because inflation is eating out the very meager salaries that they're getting. And and it goes back again, you have all these cost overruns. No the hospitals needs fixing, no MRI, no CT CT scan machines. The education system is falling apart. Police stations don't have the physical infrastructure. They don't have the tools that they need to carry out their jobs effectively. And yet they say, oh, the economy is doing well. For whom? For whom? And instead of the government buckle down, instead of buckling down and saying how best they can solve the problem that's facing the Jamaican people, they give a donkey here and they give a bar there, and that's not the answer to the problem, because the problem is still there. So they're putting a band-aid on an open wound.
That's true. Yeah,
they're putting a band-aid on a whoozing wound, because these people.
Can you imagine them do PR? Them try it with the dread, with the rasta. Them try it and say radam, and everything. I just stiff a penalty, and I just poor people are feel it. That I'm a problem, Them not said nothing for them, Nothing. When you look on an MP, I got do PR in a field area. That for sure it's on a job not even there, they're not created, nothing at all. And you want to embarrass the mama and dad. Because you come out and say 100 of them, and me sponsor and pay them because school fee for go back. You should have shame on yourself. You should have shame on yourself.
He's not sponsoring them, Wayne. It's taxpayers of Jamaica who think that it's not this MP. And it's time the Jamaican people understand that no member of parliament is giving them money from their pockets. They're giving them taxpayers' money. Taxpayers' money. So the Jamaican taxpayer is paying for their fellow Jamaicans to go to school, not the member of parliament doing that. And so then the donkey that lady did not come out of Andrew Holness's personal profits that he's making from his net worth. No, it came from the taxpayers of Jamaica.
You're the bombshell now. You're the bombshell. You have a prime minister, Marian Herb. You're a prime minister boss. And him go up on platform go boss, because him go up on the podium go boss. And him boss say, listen me, my administration spend the most money, invest the most in a national security with them big gun with 50 caliber. We can go like 2 mile distance and mash up how much place and everything. The man a boss or him a killer of ghetto people. Him buy the kind of vehicle and the ammunition and them things. The kind of people them have good vest and nothing for work with. But him a tell say him invest in this, not in some factory, not in a school, not in the hospital. Can not spend so much money. $176 billion, and them still have spend more. And say him out of every administration, he spend the most on security. Is a goddamn shame to kill my people them. To buy these things and kill them instead of catch you them from them small, fix the school, educate them, build up some job centers and some training, some skill centers and do something. Yeah, boss, so you kill them off. Una stupid, you know. Come listen, you know. And when them listen, I want to use the same word against him because can you imagine you have a prime minister who say, no other administration never do what me do by weapon of mass destruction to kill off me get up people them. Piece of crap, yo. Eh? Oh, if you listen to a man like that, brother. Not that him a boss about Maria and Herb.
Exactly. And also, you know, Wayne, he says, you know, he's coming with stiffer penalties. Stiffer penalties for whom? When are those stiffer penalties going to apply to those who are involved in corruption and ripping and raping and pillaging the government coffers? When is that going to happen? What has happened to Royal Reid, who raped and pillaged the Ministry of Education? When is he going to be held accountable for that? Where is the money going to come from to pay for all that $10 billion overrun? So when he's talking and he's talking about all this money, and why not invest it in communities? Community policing.
Yeah.
What about doing youth programs that benefit the young people, meet the young people where they are? Sports is one thing that can get the young people involved. Music is another thing. Arts and craft is another thing. Why not put up community centers? There used to be community centers where they could go and be involved in the community, do community projects. What, instead of doing that, why not invest the money in the young people in the community? They get so much money from various governments for social programs, yet they're still having a problem with funding social programs in Jamaica.
Still unaccountable, Maria.
Unaccountable. And Herb, just think about this. The other day, the Prime Minister talking of 40 billion, they might allocate 40 billion to deal with the road them now. Remember, every year they allocate money, you know. And that's 7 years now. With the money they become the road them not deal with, the infrastructure not deal with. So them do the dual carriage road where you have, remember you dig it up, it have a fix back. He might do a speech, dependent speech, because we're not independent, we're dependent, right? You do a dependent speech, and when you look him upon the road, PR again. Yeah, so remember 2023 now, you take people for Jakarta and eat that hour, man. You go buy the man the Jakarta, what not do? What not do? Oh, you fit all these things right. So look at do half now. 40 billion against 176 billion. It do half when one take for run the road, where we are spending at the road, you know, do half it, you know. Yeah? Because you have 3 times and you still have 16 billion over. 176, 4 times and 16 billion over. 4 times it can go in at 40 billion. 4 times. 160 billion, and you still have 16 billion over 4 times. You how much money you put in the health system? Not near to that. How much money in a development and do this? Not near to that, but you put so much money to kill we get up people then. And you boast about it and them not listen to you. Hey, me listen every word you say, brother. Listen to you, man. Me listen to one answer, man. Me see one other man. When I destroy the country, man. See? And then boast about it like a something good. You have to use it against you know, because it cannot be weapon of mass destruction cannot be the way something good. Those on state of emergency cannot be kickbacks and all kind of things. Cannot be. You can show me a building like Deadman Mackenzie show me a building in a mobile. You remember the building where him say open, right? The building where open Maria, right? He might open the building and say, it's a state of the art. When me look at look at dirty bed and I'm going to copy. It's a garage. He don't even have the fire truck. Me see man a push fire truck. After I do that, I'm a matter of fact, this is the first time, and I'm telling you, say, them spend the most money on these things, and look here. You spend the most money, you know. Wait, where the money there? Look here, fire truck. Look here. Let me show you the fire truck because I like showing them things here. He spend the most money to the state of yard and then fix the most fire station. Look here. Look here. Fire go look here. this. This is the first time in my life me ever seen. No, I'm travel all over the world. Me never see nobody have push fire truck yet. Never. Me never see this. You ever see this yet, Maria?
It's supposed to be one of the best cared for vehicles other than the police vehicles, fire truck, because it's what go out and save the taxpayers' money from them place burning down and rescuing people. So when you have a push fire truck and police car, you know there's no maintenance going on. And you ask yourself, where's all that money that the US been given for the police, the 50, the 60 million US dollars every year, so that they can maintain, can have the right equipment? Where's it going? You know, this is why the Auditor General is being retained, because him don't have to audit nothing. Him don't have to say anything. And like I said, what they're doing is running out the clock. Now, if the PNP manage to get in there, then it's going to be interesting to see if the ones who run out the clock will get prosecuted. But this is what they need to promise the people, that they're going to go in there and clean things up once and for all. You know, you can't have that video, you know.
And when that happens, anytime one politician, one permanent secretary, one parliamentary secretary, one member of parliament, one minister is held accountable, anytime it happens, there will be a change in the political directorate in Jamaica and how they treat the Jamaican people, how they treat being in government, and how they treat handling taxpayers' money. But they're yet to be held accountable. And that is why they can carry on business as usual. Nobody has the gumption, has yet to step up to the plate with the courage to say, you know, enough is enough. The court system not doing it. The DPP sure as hell isn't doing it. The Auditor General isn't doing it. The Integrity Commission is trying, but when the Integrity Commission does their job, they give it to the people who they're investigating. And the people who they're investigating say, no, we have to sit on this for another 2 months. We have to read it, and then the minister has to do this. That's not how it's supposed to be. That's not how it's supposed to be. So that is why you'll have them pushing the fire trucks. That is why you'll have them pushing the police car, because nobody is being held accountable for mismanagement of the government money, of taxpayers' money. Nobody is held accountable. Yet they're all getting wealthy off poor people's back. Why does the Prime Minister have? Nobody envies the Prime Minister for having a beautiful home. But come on now, how did you come by that? You are yet to declare, to verify your statutory declarations, and you are the leader of the party. None of you have signed the code of conduct. What does that say about you as a leader? Your wife, who is the Deputy Speaker of the House, has all these side projects. What is her purpose in Parliament? And everybody in there has their own side gigs. I mean, how do they get permits for all these projects? How do they get permits for bringing things into the country? They're giving it to themselves. So until somebody is held accountable, then there'll be no change in Jamaica.
We're waiting to see the results of that court case, where she building this $800 million project, and it encroaches across this other person's property. And she have the nerve to take them to court to claim that her project will be a failure, and the court need to allow her to encroach on this woman's property. If the court does that, then we know the judiciary system has been well and truly corrupted also. If they can go to court and get the court to agree with them. So at this stage, you've got a situation when you're talking, how is it the bauxite company, there's a contract ongoing after the government announced that there's no profit in bauxite anymore. So if there's no profit in the bauxite anymore, how is it possible that they issue a contract?
I think the government I give them some fund something now because them now have some profit, some levy business, some something now works. So the government take the foot the bill because the opposition I talk about that too. Me draw it up maybe tomorrow or the next day.
Okay.
You understand? Not a stupidness.
But there's research that shows for bauxite to work, they have to spend 19 to 20 million US dollars on healthcare and making and reclamation of the land. That means you have to be able to restore the land to its former state. And that the people who suck in all that dust and everything, that you're going to get them treatment for all the respiratory illnesses they're going to come down with. And that's not happening. Right? So nowhere are they taking care of the people of Jamaica. It's on crisis level now.
Yeah, so you want the people them to do at Jamaica now. Them have you are the opposition. Then. You're the opposition. You don't wait for nobody. Whenever speak in unison in one voice. Yeah, man. So whenever start group up now. The police tell about you can't group up and all kind of thing. Foolishness. Because as I said before, I would not. You can't get me a vote for a man, yes sir. And when you look him get 5 terms, I'm live on that tree like what? And when I look him house big and going up to the sky, like up to the sky, in the way of females, but I can't even go and get 5 terms. Him come here, I never have nothing. 5 terms. I'm a continue to vote for this man. And when I'm ready, when I Easter, I put him face pan a bone and give me. Yeah? When I Christmas, him tell me chop the bush. Yeah? And sit down and cook up like a acrobat in the pirate house. And me I run go vote for him and call him my boss and my Dan. They can buy me the chicken back. Me know that. Me can't, if me can't get a work, you can't get a work for me, I remember when I servant of the people, this we just want to get the people, them understand, Them people are depend on who forget the job. So you give them job and then like how the Prime Minister boss, he spend 170 billion by weapon of destruction for this trial, We don't have no sense. Think about it, man. Billion with a B, not a million, billion.
But wait.
We just spend no money in no other ministry to uplift the country. I'm more for this try Jamaica and this try Uno. And if this try the big boys them. Because when them buy and if you join by the big boys them, none of them in the prison. So everything where you see them buy if you use power Uno pitney. You can't be no fool, so man.
But wait, Andrew Holness and his wife are Exhibit A.
Yes.
Now, nobody is saying that the Prime Minister and his wife are not to live comfortable. They're getting a salary, they're getting allowances. They can do so. The issue that we have is the exorbitant lifestyles that they have carved out for themselves. And there is no paper trail to show the how that they have, they have got to this level. Because just a few short years ago, he had nothing. And just like right now, his value, his net worth, the last time I checked was $192 million. That does not add up to his salary.
Not that him and his wife, that him have to make a declaration. But then you have a house with $800 million.
Right. And then you have $800 million project. She has an $800 million project as a sitting member of parliament, deputy speaker of the house. Now, not only is she encroaching on another woman's property, her property, the permits, affects the sewage system, right? So if that goes up, the sewage, there's a problem with sewage because there has not been any sewage treatment plants in Kingston, from what I understand. So all sewage is going into the Kingston Harbor. How is she going to deal with that particular issue? So she's willing to put up her $800 million project and then have a situation where the people below her project are affected by with a sewage problem. So it's not that anybody is beating up on the Prime Minister and his wife. All we are saying is we cannot see how you as the leader and your wife have come to this place of so much wealth, continue building up that wealth. And the people that you are elected to represent, Mr. Prime Minister, are suffering more and more and more while you are getting richer and richer and richer. What is happening here? That is the question. We cannot understand it because you have yet to show the how. The how.
Maria, let me just run an ads because I have to tell them them have to watch them have to subscribe to Daisy magazine. And then more you just say the switch. You know when you talk about something, I'm show you something we just take like 2 days now. 2 days. Cause you know me have fresh thing all the time. Cause you know my eyes have up on the ground, you know. So let me run this first.
You're looking for an online magazine aiming to captivate and empower. Look no further than Daisy Magazine. Daisy Magazine is the leading online publication in the US. Subscribe to Daisy Magazine, the digital subscription publication, for the chance to win $500 US. Subscribe at www.magster.com/p/Daisy for the chance to win. It's only open to subscribers on Wayne Lonesome YouTube platform. Remember, subscribe to the leading online publication, Daisy Magazine.
Remember, people now to subscribe, you know. And that's Maria Magazine. That's Daisy Magazine. So we're gonna make sure we're gonna subscribe, right? Yeah, man. Remember, we're gonna have a $500 for win too, you know. We have a prize to win, you know. So make sure you subscribe. Gonna see it up there, yeah. So to make sure subscribe. All right. Let me find that switch right now because you don't see the switch. This are out of Harbor View right there, so. Like 2 days ago. Watch this. The feces are going to the water. Watch this. Grass me. Look where they're going now. The yard gets fish. Let's go. You know what the thing that now work. Look over there, son. Now work. One thing that now work. Where to go? You see where to go? This out of Harbor View right now. Right now as we speak. So the sewage are in there so where you catch your fish where you eat and things. And not just this alone. All over if you go down just Paradise Street, if you just go straight out of town and go Waterhouse and then do everything around going in the sea. Everything. Yeah.
So when
this can't be anything.
It says this a failure of the sewage system down there, or they never had a sewage system.
No, them have a little plant thing here, them have a little pump thing here right out of Harbor View there, so but it's not working. So this are the raw sewage. And remember, you know, them not have nothing a long time, them not do nothing, you know, them just have it there, you know. You understand? So look again. You can see the raw sewage. Yeah. And look what they say, see how they run everything. So it's like I don't know. Alright, see that? See that place the front of you there, so I eat that. I did the pump up thing that. Now work. That brought down. Not working. You understand? So that's not working. So and look on the sea. Look where it runs right now. Look where it's going now. Oh, they stink bad too, by the way, you know. Come on, in a video and remember, yeah. Oh, they stink bad. Stink. They can't stand up there, yeah.
Same problem down by downtown Kingston too.
Yes, and even at the ice factory, that's where you see it run on all over the place. Everything where you see them go, them just run the truth and just run going this, and then you have people who catch them fish there and all kind of things. But I know James soon kill off a lot of people there, so you know. So I saw it around. So you can't tell me now you have a government who spend $170 billion and spend more for weapon of mass destruction and boast about it. So him spend the most out of our when say about national security. A weapon of mass destruction the man buy, not even proper vets the man, them more like bullet and like the guns, them and like the bushmaster, them thing that where them have show you.
They don't have enough handguns, Wayne.
Yes. Eh?
They don't have enough handguns, so the police can take
them buy them, them have them. They have enough to 12,000. Them have one man carry 3 guns. Oh, you don't have enough gun, but yes, the man have to cut gun out of the armory, and you catch him and sell over 10,000 round ammunition and 18 gun. And I don't know. Him come out already. 18. I'm selling more than that. One man have all 3 guns pan them. Them give a gun to you know. You remember them have gun when come off of the road where you have man to get shot. A man go get shot again. People going to prison for that gun there. And 20 years after man gets shot with gun, and when them get the gun, they do the damage. And them have the gun, but it yesterday come out, it walk by itself. Gonna walk now. And come out. Them for destroy them gun, and make we see when them destroy them. You understand? Too much patakat in the place, man. See? They can't have a government boast for weapon of mass destruction. Like Angela Crime boast. No other government, I mean, also look for the man a boast pan. You know, even the boast about some farming and say no other government and we're self-reliance now. They say yes, something good this. But you know, it's a weapon of mass destruction, the man a boast about, you know. Spending that money and a boast on it. Some of them accountable for it, when make him go and boast, we can't hold him accountable, I play it. You understand? Because the boast about it. And that part.
Yeah, but yes, that is very bad. Because the thing is, Andrew Holness' administration has a plan to incarcerate their way out of the quagmire of crime, and you cannot incarcerate your way out of that. So, apart from, you know, Herb would know more about this than I do, is that they have to have a holistic approach to dealing with crime, and it cannot be they can't lock up everybody. Right. So what is their plan of action to address the crime problem in Jamaica? And it cannot be harsher penalties, because the harsher penalties only apply to a few, but not the many. It doesn't apply across. Include those who are committing crimes in front of us and are just walking around living their lives as if nothing happened. So Herb, in dealing with the crime problem in Jamaica, what are some of the issues, the solutions, are some of the ways that they can address it without harsher penalties and trying to incarcerate the way out of it?
A great example is the success of the men and women football teams, right? With the Gold Cup and with the World Cup. And the fact that they have this project STAR that is starting up in several different communities. But the thing is, you need a lot more launching of that project in communities, because what it does, it brings the PSOJ into the funding, and you have the government ministries that's lending the ear and the efforts to support this. Right? You have football leagues going to be starting up, and you're going to have maybe 10 teams from these 10 different communities. But then you're going to have all these young people you're bringing to train them. And when you bring them in to train them for football, you can do that maybe in 2-3 hours. And then you can turn around and start giving them job training so that they have skill sets to fall back on. Right? So if they can fund something like that and get the support of PSOJ, more power to them, right? But they have had that plan since 2016 when Rattigan and myself went down there and brought that plan to them. And they've never capitalized on it. So to see them come out now and say, well, we're going to finally capitalize on this. The question then becomes, who is funding what? Okay. Do you have an area set aside in communities that you have a community center, that you have a football field, you have a basketball court, a netball court, all of these things? You need to go full-blown effort, right, to help these young people. Well, you know, things are failing. Things have been failing for a long time. And there's no community where they have launched this thing, where things have been promising, and where the young people respond to it. The fact of the matter is there are just too many young people that are too old to participate. So you have to write off that crowd and deal with the, say, 16-year-olds and under, right? But you're going to have 17, 18, 19, 20-year-olds out there that are struggling. And eventually their best bet is join a gang. And that becomes their lifestyle. And that's where they make a mistake. Because yes, he's buying more weapons of war to use against his own people, because he can't help them otherwise, which is nonsense. If they wanted to spend that money and they encourage private sector to spend the money, they can help a lot of people, and they can improve communities. The infrastructure that needs improving, that's a lot of manual labor, carpentry, right? There's just so much work out there. The road
work. It need a lot of labor. It need a lot of
labor.
Create a lot of jobs.
A lot of jobs out there, a lot of potential out there. But guess what? The IMF, they claim, tells them that the 400+ billion US dollars that they have, they can't touch it because they owe too much money. And the fact is, they don't even have a proper financing structure set up to manage the funds that they've been spending and manage the loans they've been getting, right? So IMF have them under tight restrictions. That's why they can't fix the bridges when they fall down into the river.
But
they can't fix the roads.
But the Prime Minister himself come, because remember, you know, them borrow money and them are fix all over the place. Most of the thing where, you know, say most of the people them not have no job and them not even not drive pan them road, and them have the vehicle and them not go to country and them thing there. So you have to fix them road there. I mean, I'll say if you fix the infrastructure, you know, where people live, it's no better off for you create jobs and so it grow the economy. Because remember, you know, if you have some money, you put it in the bank. You not use it, that not grow. You have to spend it, it have to turn over. Same with government. So you know, so you have to employ people and it will turn over and them have pay some taxes there, so, and it has spent with the corner man shop there, so, and it has spent on this and the barber and everything, and it grow the economy. So economy grow. But me don't know what Jamaica do. Me don't know like them fix everybody stupid like them. I just the big boys them alone. I mean the bank them sit down and a lock down poor people bank account. You have 10 grand or less. Them dry it out when you have them, you don't have nothing, them a scammer. And the government do nothing. They do nothing. They make it, them take your money. But you pick a manga for you are hungry, them lock you up and say you're a thief. Say what the bank do to the people, them poor people. Them just going to pay a bank account, them are going to from the other day, 200,000. And nobody can tell you, oh, your money missing. 100,000, 50 grand. People have 12 grand gone. Yeah, nobody now get charged on nothing. It's wrong. So poor people are feel it left, right, and center. When we talk, I have to talk for them, you know, because them know, you know. Remember, you know, we're not there for the rich and greedy. You know. We burn them. The poor and needy, because when you have so much poor people in our country, and then you buy a weapon of mass destruction in front of our eye, we now gonna make you kill out so much of our people. Them. It's not supposed to happen. You understand? Meanwhile, you're keep them all right. And if anything happen right now, when you get old and pass on, them a billionaire. What happened to a next man kid? It's wrong. These things wrong. When they have to serve the people and do something, man. You see me I say? This can't work, it can't work no more. And people for open them I know what them have vote for. Who are not accountable. I mean I want them tell me about no. Hey, let me tell you something about member of parliament. If a member of parliament good, right? And listen now, Maria. And if a member of parliament good, right? Instead of you go in a community where you be a gunshot for over how much years, and him sit down there 50 years, but I be a gunshot and be a rifle and be a things, that means it's not a good man that fair run your place. Because if him good enough, for one for live up and now book at Cherry Gardens, you know. Boy, you there to turn now book and Cherry Gardens, even better, because in that start turn out doctor, lawyer, professors, and all kind of things. Some in your community, gun in that disappear. But he want the gun there because he want some Dunstan to come force you to vote. And him give a little bun or buy a little chicken back. And then they with the little girl them. You understand? Or the little boy them. Sodomize them. Because for them are sodomize the boy too, you know. Yeah? And keep it that way there. For the whole of your life. You come see your granny and vote for them and run up and down. Till she dead and them give a little 30 grand and make up a little thing. And you have to chump up money for bury your granny. And you know that not call to mind. But yesterday when the big man them dead, them can just bury them family with these and all right, but you can't do it. You have to deal with handout. You pick them for go school, them have to give a handout and pay something for you, and then you respect them. That cannot be life. It cannot be. You understand? Put in agency. So you don't have to chat to these nastiness, this death part. You understand? Them no mean the people them are Jamaican are good. Hold them accountable. You can't just make them just come and muggle in a clerks and tell the foolishness, and then you just run with that. And then when a voting time, you run up and down and put on colors. Them, number one, you know, let me just talk to them straight in Jamaica. I want to know this. When they never see me in a no bus, no time, no rally, can't see me. You understand? No way, just play back all I want to tape and look if you don't see me. I don't know a politician. So me talk, me free for talk, and I like politician have something for me or him have some secret for me. Now guy not have secret for me. Me just talk straight. Yeah, well, I remember me document my thing. So if you call my name as a book, you can flap yourself. You're not some dangerous trouble. You understand? See? Because them couldn't catch me herb. Because I study them. I tell you, so we have great mind. You see me also herb? Yep. You see me also Maria?
Yeah. But yes. You know, the members of parliament don't live in the constituencies, you know, so they don't care how rundown the constituencies are. But going back to something Herb said about the IMF hamstringing them on what they can and cannot do. But my question is, Herb, to you. Could it be because of the level of corruption in Jamaica that they have to make sure that they put this money aside, that the bills are paid, their debt is paid, because corruption is eating out Jamaica's economy. Corruption, the people are corrupt, the leaders are corrupt, and that is what is eating out. So the IMF holding them accountable like that, yep, I would say is because of the level of corruption that has taken over Jamaica.
It is beyond imagination, because listen, I used to think there's no money in Jamaica. I used to think there's a shortage of funds. But the Jamaica, I heard that they had that $400+ billion set aside, right? And then they have a lot more money to spend, and the way they've been spending it. The contracting business, this is where they've been handing out a lot of money, but they've been handing out money to their friends. And that's what the Integrity Commission got the Prime Minister on. 34 contracts over 20 years to the same person. Same person that he's in business with, and his wife is in business with that person. Right? So how comes you can't spread the contracting around? How comes you can't spread things around to where everybody get a chance at survival? Right? He's approving contracts not in his own constituency, but in other outside constituencies, which that's the no-no based on what the contractor general said in the past,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're allowed to influence contracts for your constituency, not in somebody else's constituency. So that means him taking full advantage of other MPs and getting money from
You
those
kind of kickbacks.
Yeah, well, there you go. There you
Kickbacks.
go. You say it like it is. Right?
Yes, man. You know, we call it up, we call our clubs, you know. When I kick back. Because, you know, under your constituency, you're going to wait down in a mobile down them side St. James and spend some money and say, yeah, clean this. Same like how the bushing scandal, the bushing work, $600 million for like some 2-day work. I know the money not done. And some rich boy get some money if you go turn over because it couldn't put back into the system. Remember, me the down there, you know, me the everywhere, you know, me know all the thing running. You understand? Who them think me no know, me know. But tell me what, two them can't get me upon them side. Because me are one of them, you know, one of them bad slave pitney the way, you know, where you can't get chatting, you know. So me are one of them, you know, where me can't crush ghetto people. Me no crush from where me come from. Me can't do that. Yeah. You see me, I call our clubs are clubs. You never say what them are saying, you know. Call it, you see me, I say, Annette, see you where. Call our clubs are clubs and a diamond. Me never repeat for them one. You understand? So we can't step and get the people. You can't, where you come from, you want to turn back and teach them the right thing. See, now open them eye and say, welcome to reality. Me, it's impossible for me to give a guy a work. And when me look him anger me like dirt. But when him come back, me have the boss, you know, not talk to the boss. So, and him can't come, where you drink and call me a rum bar. Good thing, that's why I don't drink. You know, my choices, them different thing. I do not drink and I don't want to smoke. Me not smoke and me not drink. Me not eat them food. Them can't catch me in nothing, you know. Because me not one guy, you know. He's a different human being, you know. Me not one guy, you know. I mean, I've got them yard neither, you know. Yeah? Because me expect the unexpected at all times. You understand? Me they have 40 years ahead of them, you know. Because me know, let me tell you this. If the people them just start think and work in unison, them politicians can't use them. It stop because them stop think about line, party line, and think about that. You know, whenever think about instead of want to think about party, think about we and them because that's what them I think. Them think about them and we. I tell you no. So when I went down in a party and things say, boy, you're me a liberal, you know, me a PMP. No, the big boys them a PSOJ, where most of them are criminal, yeah, juggies and all, yeah, and them politician boy. From them go up to them turn and ask it, you know. Because them go link head and them make sure them have the land and them get everything and them get waivers. But only not see them not telling no. Yeah? So them think about them now. All right. You think that's what I make? You come from ghetto. Put on a pants. Even if you have your money now, you don't have to come from the ghetto. Just put on a tear-up pants. No shoes or little slippers. And drive your car. Just park it somewhere where you can walk up in a Narwood. Now look. Beverly Hills. I walk up there and so fast police reach and draw down fire. Just stretch raggedy. You know, come from there. I see something. Yeah? You're frightened. I remember, you know, me, nobody know, you know, you just want to do what them call it? Experimental kind of little thing. You just want to show them anger poor people. Just look shabby and dress and go up in them place and just walk up in that place and so much security guard and police draw down by the same time. To go pull you up and question you and all kind of things. I remember, you know, as a Jamaican, you're free to go anywhere in a Jamaica. Not again. Because you're even police. I tell people in a Jamaica, say, listen, if it's a stranger in your area, call the police. Make we check him out. Remember, if a man do nothing out of the way and break the law, you know, that illegal for police come and arrest that man, you know. Yeah, it's illegal, you know. But yet still, that means, you know what the matter say? A tourist were a raper, but him white, and him coming to your country. Yeah, you have pedophile and all kind of thing coming to your country. Sometimes them broke now nothing. Coming to your country. Him can go the length and better Jamaica and nobody them protect him. But you now leave from town and you go Portland. Them arrest you and want to know what you do down there. What you do up there. It's wrong. Them are trumping for your human rights, man.
No, wait, that tourist that was tried for raping that girl down there in Montego Bay.
Yes.
Right? Wasn't they supposed to sentence him in
Yes,
July?
yes. You know, if I'm come and try call him, I'm gonna get him in. Him for go on, you know. Come and tell him. Remember when I brought my pen and I tell him, say if him spend some time, and then put out team because propaganda thing, but him call her fatty this and that. Remember we do investigation good enough, so we know say him can't tell me nothing. You know. Him one of the pervert them. You know. You understand? But him want to get where and want to use some things and then him style up the thing. That no work for me. That no work. You understand? I remember the slavery business done for me, you know. So I look for people like that and the color like that. You can't get it if you do it wrong, you know. You have to go deal with it, you know. You understand?
Yeah.
You have to deal with it. But when I say Maria and Herb, you can imagine now you as a young man more endangered species in Jamaica right now. Young ghetto man. Young ghetto youths coming up. Because if you leave and you go in our country as them see you, police are draw down your stranger where you come from, who you, where you are. It's wrong. If you don't feel safe, put us you watch your stock, you have other ways to do it. Surveillance. You don't look at people that tell you have people in the area say well them come here and mean no good because I see my papa on a drug base or something, and then them go stake out and them go see where you're up to. But they're not supposed to approach you and take your car, you go to jail and hold it for 2 days and say, you have a car, where you come from? Me have a call out where you come from if they want. This is a foolishness. It's crappy. Government are buy weapon of mass destruction and a boast about it. Not for fix school. Not for say, you know, Maria, like them that come and say, you know, we buy the most X-ray machine and we buy the most bed and the most hospital working back and the most people are even that. You understand? Nothing like that.
It was
we
better.
get the most employment you see. Eh?
Better the money was tangible things to show for the kind of money he's claiming to spend, then there would be no argument. But there's nothing to show for all the money that's being spent. And then they talk about the IMF, you know, they have to implement austerity measures because of the IMF agreement. But do you realize that the austerity measures affect poor people and not the uptown people, the political directorate? So it's not the Jamaican people that are the problem. It's the political directorate that is the problem. Because they're the ones who are abusing the system. They're the ones who have these cost overruns by giving their friends all these contracts. Instead of spreading it out, so many people, more people get contracts and can employ people, and more teachers can go to school because the schools are properly fixed, and the schools are fixed, the budget is on time, it is fixed and on time within budget. The same thing goes for hospitals. Equipment is purchased, the hospitals are maintained, there's somebody to maintain the equipment in the hospital. So the reason that we have this situation where bridges can't be fixed because the political directorate, the government is to blame. The government is to blame because the people, the members of the private sector organization, they're not suffering because of this. Nobody, no minister of government or member of parliament, if they're not feeling it because of this. But the poor people of Jamaica, they hike the prices upon them. So when they go to the grocery stores, they're paying more. They get an increase in their minimum wage, but when they go to the grocery store, they're paying more for the same thing. So the salary cannot buy anything. The increase cannot match up to the inflation rate. So it is not about people creating this problem. The government created this problem. The corruption is causing this problem, and the poor people are the ones who are feeling it. So we have to educate and edify the Jamaican voter. The local media should be asking of the government, the finance minister, the prime minister, how is it? Why is it that you have to implement these austerity measures on poor people when you have corruption at this level? When are you going to address the corruption problem so the IMF does not have to put these guardrails in place so that you can pay back your loan because you owe so much money? You're losing so much money to corruption, and the people are the ones who are suffering. So when are they going to really step up to the plate as a government and address the corruption problem so they do not have to be beholden to the IMF regulations? that they have to pass on to poor people because they're not passing on to themselves.
See, when we talk about with Dr. Canute yesterday, we talk about how has Jamaica progressed in the last 61 years, right? And this is Dr. Canute Thompson. 62 to 72, there was rapid economic growth, averaging 6% per annum, but limited social development and economic inclusion. Now, 62 to 72, wasn't that the period when the JLP started out in power?
Yeah. But what happened, maybe just say something there when them say rapid. And then I even rapid, so because like what I'm telling about growth now, you can have a handful of people control Jamaica, and then you have a lot of dunce people. In them time, you have some people them have nothing, you know, the school, everything, nothing not right for them. The majority of people back in those days, nothing not said for them. Yeah. So it's just a handful of people when they talk about economic growth, because you what them do know. You like the PSOJ now, right? Criminal PSOJ. If one company make over 100 billion profit, what them do, them know 3 million people, so them just, you know, them calculate up that and cut it up and say, well, per capita 5,000. That no mean get up people have 5,000 and them alone have the money. You not have a cent. You understand? So when them do you much trillion, so when them do it, them that say how much per capita now, because them you know them calculate it, and you understand? And then bust it up and say this is per capita. In a US, 5,000 US per capita, Jamaica, it equal to. So you feel say people have this money, them not have it none at all. And them have it pack up there. Same thing that go on in them time because people not get. Remember them trim all Rasta, you know. Them trim all Rasta from 63, you know. 62, when you see them coming by 63, Rasta, them can't even prosper and them thing the better. People now prosper. Yeah? Continue. Yeah,
but
man.
The key thing was when Manley came in 72 to 80, 1980, 8 years. You had expansive social economic development, including free education, maternity leave law, access to agricultural lands, increased agricultural output, housing expansion, and intense political.
Boston Servant Act, and a matter of fact, the apprenticeship program, you can just call it. The think the equal right for equal job. Even America have that all now. Yeah. And a lot more things run through, man. And matter of fact, you'd have like 6 big companies on the backside. And then buy back into that and get 51% and control it and use that to pay. Go up a university free. So now for them lawyers and them doctors and them people, them get the opportunity to do that and send them you through it. Yeah? Instead of them change that, them mash up the thing. And that mash up my head. And then them come and tell lie. You understand? That mash up my head, brother. So when some people say that and this and that, me just burn it out, you know. Jamal, you have to teach them people that couldn't even read and write. That's why you say you must first in study. And no joke. A reality. You understand? Reality. Yes.
So when Manley left, 80 to 89, JLP was in there. Siaga.
Yes.
So that the IMF structural adjustment in the economy, right? Relations with the IMF, contraction of social services, reduction in several things, free education, and
that cut from 86.
Yes. Okay. 89 to 70, man, they come back. Economic liberalization, high inflation in the first 7 years. He's cut out the IMF. They had growth in the service sector, investments in tourism, development of the social sector and protection systems to include Tourist Enhancement Fund, National Health Fund, Universal Access Fund, strengthening of the justice system, building out of major road networks, right? Then 2007 to 2011, right? It was still the PNP, right?
No, 2007 till 11, then, you know, Sir Bruce come in, yes.
Bruce come in then. All right.
Yes.
They returned to the IMF, withdraw from the IMF. They continued strengthening the justice system, and then you had really stressed the relationship between Jamaica and the USA over the extradition of Christopher Coke, cuts in funding to the University of West Indies. That was Minister of Education Andrew Holness, cut the funding to the University of West Indies. 2012 to 2016, OSHA come back, right?
Yes.
Reset the relationship with the US and the IMF, lay the foundation for economic stability, include legislation to increase tax collection, securing enough financing for major investment projects, which I believe included is the road projects. Continued investment in social services expansion and rehabilitation major and interior roads, and reinterpretation of strategies for crime fighting, with crime being labeled as social pathology. Then 2016 to 2023, that's the Andrew them comeback, right? Continuation of the economic model of 2012 to 2016, right? Continuation of investment in major infrastructure projects, apparent rise in levels of corruption and crime. So it definitely happened when they come back in. Introduction of states of emergency as routine crime fighting tool, which they're going to pay out money on now, because of 200 people, 4 already get what? $2 or $4 million settlements already. And now the other 200 getting ready to sue the government, right? Because it's been outlawed as unconstitutional, right? And you still have high levels of homicides, teacher migration, nurse migration, right? And this unprecedented increase in salaries, and lawmakers under investigation for illicit enrichment. So going through that, you can see where when the PNP is in, the people programs, right? People-oriented programs. When the GLP comes in, then they pull back the reins. They shut things down, right? They have not shown continued success in any time they've been in there, except when they first was in there from 1962 to 72. There is no success stream. You agree, Maria?
I agree with you, Sir Herb. And Wayne and I, even, you know, talking offline sometimes, we always allude to that and say, you know, people saw the PNP doesn't. No, you have to look at the black and white. Look at it in black and white. Look at the policies. Look at the legislations that they've laid out. Because the best time, a lot of the, as Wayne said, a lot of the doctors, lawyers, and educated people now, they came through the programs of the 1970s. And so when it was, you know, for the defund or cut funding to the UWI was a big mistake, you know, because it helped a lot of poor people's children to go to university. So I agree that the majority of programs that benefited the people took place under the People's National Party regime, so that's Michael Manley, PJ Patterson, Porter Simpson. Those are the facts. Nobody's making stuff up. And then when you have the JLP come into power, they cut back on those programs that benefit the people for the rich and the well-to-do and the well-connected. So that is where the imbalance comes in, and you put on top of that the increased level of corruption among the political directorate. That makes it even worse.
With the cutbacks, the money goes into somebody's pocket, right? Because the money not going into the treasury. And so this is the outstanding and most corrupt instances you can see from 2016 till now. The kind of money that Trafigura scandal was over $31 million. The kind of money we see from 2016 to now in scandal is in the billions.
All right, so hold on, don't move that door, because that was a fake scandal. Yeah. I will explain, because that one or two quote, and me explain it again. When Andrew come and said the mothers of all scandal, Trafigura, I'm asked, what is a scandal? So Miss Sama Mossam with them name, where they just get $1 billion for license plate. Who did I work there? That look good? For license plate. They finance minister did I work there.
Yeah.
My deputy chair. And him give the company $1 billion over $1 billion for just do some license plate. And it's not a scandal. Okay. Because you have company, Grace Kennedy. You tell me that one of them not donate money, where Dan will be there. Him in the house, him not in the Senate. Eh? So them I look something for them own thing. Okay, so Trafigura, you donate, and it's a Dutch firm. And them tell us, listen, don't donate to no political party. Them come with 31 million, never Jamaican money, and enough funds from Jamaican things. Somebody take that, give Bruce run with it, and the way that them spin up and for just capture and play some little hanky-panky foolishness. Okay. Them say them give back, them send back the money. Now they make Dutch the same strike 5, where you couldn't do that in a Dutch, in the Netherlands.
Right.
Make your former prime minister and other former members come and testify against Trafigura. Say yes, we'll get some money. What happened? Anybody gone to prison? No, you don't think them are going over there. It's charge the firm maybe a penalty. But you waste our taxpayers' money, because you tell me, say you teach the people, I tell the people them lie, say it was a corruption. That wasn't a corruption, it was a donation. If them say you donate, don't tell me something. Did a party not get donation? Or SSL, I know you not chat to them. Eh? Them not get donation from bank and everything. If it does a company out there, so you say don't donate to no party. And if you break that, your country going to charge, your government going to charge you. Okay? Charge your company, nobody now go to prison. And see them, don't them run a true court down in Jamaica? Anybody going to prison? Because them trick the people, them things say, oh, Portia I go to prison, and Paul, well, them I go to prison. It wasn't no corruption. The corruption are like the money, the $5 billion. Right now, where the government are putting back, where them thief and Petrojam. And our taxpayers' money, that is corruption. Corruption, I like them, I tell you about overrun down in a mobile down at the hospital. It got to 3 billion, then 5. Remember, you know, the health minister, the department program. 5. Then it got to 10. When we carry the opposition spokesman for health. Yeah, guy. Remember Christopher Tufton Company program. And said it took almost a 5 bill. And now we got to have 14.8 bill.
Yeah.
For the one, and that's a new bill in your bill. Eh? Overrun 10 billion. When it reach even 10 million, we not hear about it, but we won't go hear about the corruption when it reach 10 billion. And nothing to fix it. That is corruption. You understand? So the real corruption, they not talk about the taxpayers' money, the bushing scandal, a corruption, a criminality. That bigger than even the light bulb money. $600 million. Not 200 million or 200 600 million. See? The 10 billion that do have nothing. Billion would have be. Nobody go to jail. The next money we're missing. With the minister, you know. I remember, you know. He was an advisor and he work at school, and when I hear nothing happen at the school, but when him go there in the ministry, education ministry, pull off this. Monkey see, monkey do, you know. That in our book, you know. Yeah, you know, just get up and pull off these things like that, man. If it was an honest man before, you know, I see something before when I get something. Might I get to it something before, so you just want to pull it off again. You understand? Somebody else cannot drive a seat or something pull off before. Of course. Because in a 2007, you know, say, because you see the interview where you have like 6 accounts set up. And when you look at the Ministry of Education and give them people the 1.8 million contract and thing, but you still have them own the 6 account, don't it? Eh? It never depend 80 degrees, something or the other. It never did it. When you want to watch corruption, just look on the real corruption. You see them they right in front of you. So when them call corruption, we know what is corruption from the corruption. And remember, them can't go away and trick me. Let me tell you something what them can't trick me again, Maria. You see, like how them say human trafficking. Me I talk to Eyes on the File since morning. I say Eyes on the File. You see that human trafficking thing, I better tell me say sex trafficking, you know, because human trafficking are when them used to traffic people from Africa. I mean, I want them, you know, naturalize the thing with this. With where you take somebody and them come with you, figure sell them body or business, and you say human trafficking because you want to naturalize that. And you want to neutralize the thing, make it sound like about human trafficking. If a sex trafficking you tell about and sell body and them thing, but human trafficking about what you do to what people them and choose them off a board and kill them and them thing. They don't come mix it up with that and call it no human trafficking. Me not call it that. Give it a next name. You understand what I say, Maria? Eh? Because you want to just work out and just work out naturally that way there. You know, work with that. That 31 million was not corrupt. You know about corruption? When you go to man and felt up Philip and pay 50,000, we don't know how it be now. So you go talk to Dan. Talk to as a prime minister, as a government.
The thing is, you know, it is some of the things that comes from the Andrew Holness administration. You have to shake your head and wonder, are they even normal people? And what the Jamaican people need to understand is that when you hear cost overrun, it means the money went into somebody's pocket and not into the project for which it was allocated. Now, for every department that there's a cost overrun, it's the taxpayers' money that's being wasted. The money is wasted and the road is not fixed. The money is wasted and the hospital is still, Cornwall Regional Hospital is still yet to be completed. Do you know how many hospitals that have been built, that could have been built with that money that have been allocated to Cornwall Regional for the coming years now, and all these cost overruns? And another thing, these cost overruns, taxpayers' money, but also includes money that they borrow and they have to pay back. So the money has to be paid, they borrow the money, it has to be paid back, taxpayers' money, and it is not finished. So they still have to find more money now to put into these things, and they're going to have more cost overruns because the problem of corruption has not been addressed. It has not been addressed because the head of the stream is dirty, the bottom of the stream is also going to be dirty. It's as simple as that.
True. And you don't say tax overrun, Maria. But you don't say it wasted. But I wasted that thief the money a criminal them in a patakat. Because if the road not fixed, and you say tax overrun, that mean you know overrun on the thief the money. Because I like it fixed, you know. And then you say, okay, it over because it not fixed. It not done. It not move or you have a overrun there. So a thief the money where they did it before. Criminality. So when you say, oh, the money waste, you know, really waste them thief it, them packet it, patak at them. So when it overrun, it's like you pay more workers with it because the job never done and them late. But you know, get the job, but the money gone. You know, so and you know,
they're going to allocate more money for that project.
Yes.
And they're going to go missing again. And they're going to keep doing. When are they going to stop allocating these kinds of money? Do the investigations, lock the people up for these cost overruns so they can stop that bleeding. That's what they need to do. But this is their friends and their comrades and their relatives who are benefiting. And so we're going to always have this problem. But it shouldn't be that you're not talking about $1 billion here or even 10 million. $10 billion. $14 billion. You know what that could do for a school, for the education system, for the healthcare system, for the police, for the firefighters? That's what it comes down to. So when it is easy to say to call the figures and say corruption, but it affects people on the ground. Real people are affected.
Yes. As I said before, you know, what them do, as I said before, Maria, what them do, them call it overrun to make it sound sweet to the people then. But we call it criminality. Because if you don't get a job, if you do something, if you cut a track, but the track not cut yet, it not build. And I like you have to call in some workers and it not do. But the money gone. It's criminality. But them call it overrun to make it sound like when you look the job, oh, it overrun and the job not do yet. $10 billion overrun. The hospital, when you look, them not go sandash down the place, not never gone in yet. Them put a 5, then them reach 10 billion and then put it and gone at 14.1 billion. And I say it might have got 20 billion one place. But yet still the government want to use 40. Remember, you know, the nearer to 20, because they want to put it at 20. But the government want to use 40 to do the road them cross in your communities, right across the island. 40 billion. But 1 billion, I take you 14 point add, and them say it might have got to 20. It don't make no sense to me. It can't make no sense. Mr. Hurricane come, and when them fly over, them say, okay, it will cost around $2 billion, although that are too much too. To clear up the road and fix back this and do. But 1 billion take you 14 billion. 1 billion. It don't make no sense. You know, it don't make no sense. And I like them fix it and them buy them two thieves, man. It bad. And you have to point out these things, them are criminal, man. Too much criminals. Yeah? Baby, malnourished. People are trying to do something and them send out the police. Them weaponize the force. Them send out police. Yeah, sell. Remember, you know, we not them stand up in the same nasty water. The filthy water sell. Then they could close. And you go down there with sledgehammer and mash it up. So you tell me, say them youth, instead of them fire gun, and them in their cell, them a try feed them family, you rather mash it up. Number one police, they just take up all them and them just take up everything. That means if you just go with your hand, remember you know, count off everything and lock it and get a name and take it in and that them get it back, you know. You just take it up and bungle everything and throw it. That means a thief, you a thief it. Yeah? Like it's an overpower thing, like it's a, you know, you just come in, these things to stop. You have to have it to stop people, you must vote for them because nastiness, yeah. Or if you vote for them people that are about council and them sit down in our council and then make people come free, sledgehammer and take your thing. Just take it from you. So when you feed your youth, but you're still letting them there and them are carrying counterfeit up to hide for mash up your car. And me not see them go to prison. Man, them have them own police station in Jamaica. Them nyam with dog, we not see the police come for them. Cruelty to animal too. Because I remember our thing that. Them a eat with dog, them a eat with donkey. Who do not charge them. Them sell everything that fake. One shop, 300, 400 million thing in it. Who do not charge them. Make you even understand these things. Make you understand these things.
That's all corruption, Wayne. All corruption. Yes. Right? You have a law against cruelty to animals. And you're going to watch the man and bust the donkey head open with a sledgehammer. And you don't think that's cruelty to animals? Right? You got dogs missing. The man prepare the dog while people watch. I mean, they're changing the entire culture of the island. You know, where's all this going to end? While you look the other way? You know, there's no way this can continue the way it is, right? And the stealing of this money by jacking up pricing for one hospital that can't finish yet. The last projection was it go from 3.5 to 5 now to 14 billion. So I don't know. Next time we see another projection, it's probably 20 billion for that hospital. Of course. You know, the highway you're talking about, 17.4 billion, right? And that money just keep accumulating and accumulating. They can't stop the dust. People get a lot of lung infections because Why? They're kicking up this dust the whole day long,
Yes.
rather than wet down the roadway and stuff like that. They're not protecting people. They don't care about people. They don't come.
You want me to show you an XPR? I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you something, Andrew. I'll show you an XPR right now. It's an XPR with the Prime Minister. But I'm going to put in Andrew, you know, my thing full, you know. Yeah. So I want to show you an XPR right now. Let me see what I put in this because you can't just put in Andrew, so, you know. Remember, me have all files, you know. I keep files, you know. My thing them full of files, you know. And you're supposed to say, boy, alone, so you keep too much file with my boy, you know. Yeah, man. So, let me see this.
So somebody talking to you, Maria. Freedom. Halliburton, the biggest engineering company out of Texas. So
let me see that one now. Let me see that one now. Let me see that one if I this.
All right.
Look one the PR. Let me show you a PR. It's going to start. Look at now. I'll show you PR.
2022 this year.
No, as a Prime Minister now, look where the man have stand up and walk. Who tell him to do this? All this is embarrassing, man. You depend on dual carriage where look how long people are suffer. And you and look where him come on to now.
Well,
look here.
To be independent, you must be able to walk your own road to prosperity,
That's no foolishness. To be independent, you must be able to walk on your own road to prosperity. Look how him flap himself now. So the woman may get the donkey and then people that now walk on the road, them walk on Gov't and all kind of things. What you talk about? Where my talk say? When those talk say the kawaii? You know, this makes, you see, them just do PR all the time and show off people like me. Feel independent, you walk on your own board, but right now, me tell some people now, take some shot of the road and walk on it and show you. You're going to embarrass. Bad. They embarrass you bad. Because it gone back to caveman days. So you look on the dual carriage road. And the man I do PR again on the road where people take so long, people sick. They just mash up people so bad. And look where Andrew just said the kawaii. Look here. Never play this. Never go play it. What land there? Never go play it. You when say you have to be independent, you have to walk on your own road. Me no know to be independent, you have to walk on a road. I chew that Maria. That but not even ask that stupid so. To be independent, you have to walk on your own road. And by the way, I'm a female, remember everybody road, you know. Government road, yeah. Your own road, them say, you know.
That's a highway. What about the other roads in the local communities that need fixing?
The lanes and the paths.
This is that dual carriageway.
Yeah, how do you produce to the market if they have to go to school?
Yes.
So what does it mean to be independent? Well, to be independent, you must be able to walk your own road to prosperity, progress, peace, and development. So basically then, independence starts with a road.
What kind of foolish is this? Independence starts, you walk by your own road. Government road and a field road for everybody. So you know, on your own road. You have to buy a piece of land and then you have your own road where you cut out and walk on it. And if you walk on the road where you live on right now, it's embarrassing. This a dual carriageway, 1, 2. Yeah? That a dual carriageway, Andrew. Never show you road. Yeah? So you walk on that now, the PR and that foolishness, me no unite with you, sir. Me just no unite. We have to show him real road. See my road, yeah? I'm at half, I could take him off and then come back on. Because we want to show the people them the road. See road, yeah? You see road, Andrew? This is the highway. You see 18 lane. You see it? You see it? So we have to drive pan to here. All right. So show me dual carriage when I say if you be independent, you have to walk on your own road and start with a road. What kind of crap this? What kind of PR stunt this? How many see the hour, man? You see what them tell people for? Look what the man has show. I went from 2017 and this. Look here. Look at the man I show. Yeah, look at. Yeah?
Today, I'm standing on the Maypen to Williamsfield Highway, which is slated for completion at the end of August 2023, this year. This infrastructure, like all other infrastructure currently under construction across the island, represents development and ease for Jamaicans.
Yo, I'm not sure no more because this don't make no sense. This is why I love the PR stuff. The man, me no know. Remember, you have to have your road, them dig it up and them have to fix it, you know. And that's late already because you know how the highway them start and everything. And that highway we have dual carriageway, by the way. But this you say I'm just back way. This don't make no sense. It don't make no sense for being independent. You have to walk on your own road and it start from a road independence. You have to tell people that. Who write a script again? Come on, no, you can't so dumb, brother. Me don't like your foolishness, Maria. Yes, Maria.
What about the interior roads? The interior roads, I'm not saying, you know, highway roads are not important, but interior roads are more important, or equally as important, because the farmers need to get to their produce out. The teachers, the students need to get to school. People need to get around with ease. They cannot get, if rainfall, God help some of them, they cannot get around. And he's, you know, I mean,
People have to replace the front axle, have replaced tires, replaced all kinds of stuff because the cars are dropping down in potholes, right? If the Chinese are the ones doing all of this major construction, what is the government to do? Does Jamaica have a team of guys that work road construction still? That's my question. Have you all seen recently any team of Jamaicans out there working the inner roads of the cities, road construction?
Where's the Public Works Department?
Is they still exist?
So instead of being independent, people, for being independent, we have to be self-reliance. So we're independent. We're dependent right now. So let me just correct him right now. Because I never finished correcting him yet. So right now, Jamaica not independent. We're dependent of be a grant and handout. If I never win a diaspora, we're not debt free hungry down there. Even the PSOJ, where you say I spend the 5 or the 6.8 billion, them who not have it to spend. Because Bank of Jamaica have around no more than like 4 billion in reserve. And if they must spend 6.8 billion, and I'm going to try and back by 1. It's a deficit of 5.8 billion. So our 4 billion, I make up that with the tourist money when you get by 2.8 billion. Yeah, from tourists are 2 billion and 2. Yeah, I balance the place. Because you look at mathematics. So be independent. Yeah, we have a self-reliance. Yeah, so we rely on ourselves. We can feed ourselves. You understand? So we're not independent. I pay a big around the world. Okay? So we matter this, we have to work our own road. That if your prime minister for come say that they don't say that the stupidest thing ever hear for a long time. Who write that? For be independent, you know, have to be self-reliant to be independent, man. So you cannot depend on other people for everything. If you fly out of the country, you have to wait for them plane because we give away plane. We don't have no more plane, we don't have no train, we don't have nothing. And the man walk on this and the PR and that foolishness after the country I go back here. Eh? Walk on your own road. How that work? Then use it in a backdrop because you see, I'm good thing in doing is just play politics and the foolishness, you know. Eh? This don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. So you want independence from again type, from give you your pitney school fee. So them should have create the job. I make it there and some facts create that you can get job that you can send your kids and pay your own school fee. So you're independent of them. And you know, if you take them to dirty nasty bun, you know, if them feed it up with them and with them scratch, we not yam from them. You understand? Because them put them thing in, we not yam from them, we not wanga. We not trust them, you know. They just burn them. That does me that. So you know, we tell them the truth. Yes, Master Maria. You know, we not play with them. You understand? Yeah, because them want you to hand out and to be independent. What kind of foolishness is this? You have to walk on your own road. and I show road about Williams Field and Lincoln foolishness. Go with that. You can't have government to spend your taxpayers' money where you should have road long time and your whole plate fix up and everything and after and everything. They won't go buy weapon of mass destruction. A matter of fact, we'd have in a before 62. We'd have the Royal Navy down there, the Royal Air Force and Army and whatever. The Queen thing down there. When them go World War I, World War II, a lot of us soldiers them dead because them fight different country. Them go like a fight, you know. And then bury up a camp and them thing, the serious thing. You know, people from World War I were fighting, Mr. Clark. And we know people were fighting at World War II. Dead and gone now, a long time. Right? But tell me something now. After 62, I will have one Jamaica Defense Force. You can understand how much which country, you can just put them, how much people America casualty, how much time them fight America, Britain, or any one of them country around the world. Or you have the force that train so hard and I kill what one get a youth. So what one get a youth to kill to same way. Which country will ever use the force go fight for defend Jamaica? I what one get a people return, we train them like that and use them again to get a people, them don't it? Not the big boys, them, you know. We see them get up people. We see them people them in our country. So we have soldier and abroad, and then them I tell you, say them go on duty. And how much of them call it deployment, thousands of deployment. You know what? You know they get to them. How much is sick? And the first you see a country in the West, I deploy them soldier upon about one people. Just to catch you them from them young and set the right thing because they are like sponges. And set the right thing like anywhere else. So you that catch trouble you. You say you go to school, you them go to school, you know, so before now ring, you know. You know after them place are set up, right? You know teacher are calling the machine are talk to you, them are call you. And if you not answer them are call, them are check up on you. Yeah? Because the system set that way. Why we not putting something in place to catch you them from them young? More than we want to sit down and just kill them. And we are get old. That means we are destroy the country and give it to somebody else. Give it to some different nation. That don't make sense to me neither. And then you turn around and look. The same people them you kill out for them brother and sister, you want to turn police and soldier same way. So we are kill we same way. That don't make sense to me neither. It's not sensible. It's sensible, Maria. That don't make sense, ma'am.
You want to hear something though, Wayne, about justice?
Yes.
And about taking care of these young people. Schools in Western Kingston 20 years ago is graduating 44% of the students. 20 years later, they're still graduating only 44% of the students. No improvement. So where's the money that you spent in those schools? They can't even get school books, right? They're getting printed sheets from extracts from school books and stuff in these areas. And it would appear that because you have poorer kids there, they get the poorest service at all times. Now, I talked to Valvinita earlier today. She's the attorney down in Kingston. She was telling me about a case where the DPP tried a young man whose DNA come back and say him wasn't a rapist. Him didn't rape this particular girl. But the DPP was bound and determined it had something to do with it. So she put him on trial anyway. I said, well, who's responsible for the DPP? Isn't the Attorney General the one who tell the government what the law is and that the case don't meet the requirements to try under law? She said, no, the DPP can do anything she want to do. She make her cases and she can withdraw them. And she withdraw cases she's about to lose. She withdraw from them so that she can try it again in the future. There's no decision on the case, so she want to go back and try it when she get more evidence, right? But this one and this young man was particularly malicious because the young man got convicted and there was no matching DNA on him, and they had his DNA sample. So I don't understand what's going on with her.
So me tell you, Herb, so a lot of young men in a prison, them never do the thing. Remember talk to a lot of youth and them thing. And I joke me I'm making, this is Jamaica, you know. Your mother not have nothing on them thing, but them have to put it on somebody, them put it on them. And by the way, Prime Minister, you walk on the Williams Field a toll road, where them have to pay a toll pan. Remember, you know, you set a bad example, by the way, where you walk on the dual carriageway, because if people walk on the road and say you have to have your own road, police are going to lock them up. Mrs. Manager drive through the toll, you got to charge him. And I tell. So you walk on the road and say the next leg and the next leg, and then you talk about have your own road. There's still Chinese have concession for 50 years. It make any sense, Maria? 50 years concession.
That's not your own road.
That makes no sense. What is her?
Man.
That's not your own road.
50 years concession.
Years, you're gonna be dead and gone by the time they meet
exactly. Before that you make $1. That is so true. But back to the case that you were talking about a while ago, Herb. You know, the DPP only has courage for poor people who cannot defend themselves, you know.
Right.
And she has to do that to give the appearance of she's doing her job, but she's not really doing anything. Because what is her what to call it now?
A clear up rate?
What's
next to zero?
What's her success rate? 5%?
Next to zero.
And when you have so many cases of corruption sitting there, everybody can see that the country reeks of corruption. And she does not have the gumption to prosecute these cases. What does that say about her? But she can prosecute somebody whose DNA did not show. She's determined to prosecute him, even though he did not do the crime. She's determined to give the parents that she's doing something. She's not doing anything. She needs to demit office because she's a drag on the office. It will operate more effectively if she goes. But she's there to protect somebody or somebody's, but she's not there doing the job of the Jamaican people. It makes what her purpose there, you know, is really null and void. What is she doing there? What is she, honest to God, doing there when corruption is so rampant in Jamaica? It is in front of her face. Is she not going to prosecute the people who the ICIR is investigating? She's not going to prosecute any of them?
Well, you know, so I say their objective is to run out the clock. And I don't know if a new DPP can reopen that case after she disposed of it, right? Because in that case, they should preserve the evidence. And hopefully in the future, a new DPP will do something about it. But I don't see that happening. You know, the corruption is so deep. I think her own people is afraid of her and what could possibly happen to them if they go against her.
No, you see, you know,
she has a prime minister to support her no matter what, and she has the Delroy truck, who is a minister of justice, who is, you know, misinterprets the constitution, travels all over the constitution to benefit her. The prime minister, they change the constitution to benefit her. So everything is done to benefit her and not the people of Jamaica. So everybody has to be afraid of her, because if they can, you know, change the constitution to benefit one person.
Yep.
What does that say about the country? What does that say about the people? What does that say about the political directorate? What does it say about Andrew Holness and his government? The man is corrupt from his tip of his head to his toenail. It's just corruption everywhere.
And nobody wants to do anything about it.
Him lie. Him not the lie that thing ever walk on the face of the earth. Yeah? Destructive, corrupted, lie in the eye. They are the worst government never see. I can't compare, because I know about government all over the place. And I can't compare Andrew Holness led government right now to nobody else on earth. No, I mean, I know nothing about out this about no alien. No one me can corrupt, me can compare Andrew Holness that government right now to. None. None.
Let me ask you this, Wayne and Maria. I sent you guys something earlier today that I pulled from the UK Attorney General's office. Now, keep in mind now, the Attorney General's office throughout the Commonwealth should be based on the same things, right? It says the Attorney General is the chief legal advisor to the Crown and has a number of independent public interest functions, as well as overseeing the law offices departments. The duties of an Attorney General in the UK Commonwealth include, and this is the UK Commonwealth now, that means 56 countries or what have you. Overall responsibility for the work of the Attorney General's office and superintendent departments. What are those departments? The Government Legal Department, the Crown Prosecution Service, the Serious Fraud Office, and HM Crown Prosecution Service Inspectorate. The specific statutory duty to superintend the discharge of duties by the Director of Public Prosecutions, who heads the Crown Prosecution Service, and the Director of the Serious Fraud Office. Now, if they have it set up for the Attorney General to supervise the DPP, how is it Jamaica's DPP is independent? This is what I can't understand.
That is my question to her. That is my question. Because the Attorney General and the Ministry of Justice should be able to do that.
Yes, the Attorney General should be the main person that interprets law.
Yes.
Lays down the law. So when she goes and she does a malicious prosecution of a young man whose DNA don't match up for rape, that is a malicious prosecution, and she should be brought up on charges.
Yeah, I forgot on it. And no, but when the lawyer, learned lawyer, tell you these things, you know, we have to set them down and keep it there, so, because when everything change around, you drop these kind of things. And she strike 5. Let me tell you something. Strike 5. You go strike 6 now. Strike 5. You glitty their buck. You are go strike 6. Them have to investigate you. And everything where you do wrong, you know, you forget all accountable for these things. Every single one, I don't know. Same thing with Donald Trump. And you see one of them, Julia and everybody went up and down and talk about a thing right now. People get knocked left, right, and center, go prison, who not pay money, and all kind of things. You see it? Because the law, I got things that got change. Yeah? Because them feel them, they're untouchable. And if it can't happen in the #1 country in the world, where you talk about Jamaica, it can't in Jamaica joke on make. You just want serious people come in and hold them to account. Special prosecutor, them for draft for every single government member. Every single one of them. Yeah? So you understand? And even the DPP too. And the commissioner of police and the one of them. Because the one of them for retire, you know. If you have somebody just move them and then you drop some people. I'll magline for go home too, you know, because that's not police. Them the politically aligned, you know, with Big Mama and the whole of them when they saw a foot, they search foot, you know. The whole of them for go home and a joke, you know. But you have to get serious and grab the bull by the and a bull them, you know. You have to grab the dolphin and the shark them by the fin and straighten it out. It have to straighten out. Saying? Yeah, man.
But you know, when we think about the Constitution, no flaw is still the Constitution. And the Constitution, from how I understand it, is supposed to be interpreted to the letter of the law. Correct, her?
Yep.
Yes.
Right. And in the execution of judicial practices, it's the spirit of the law. Correct, her?
Yep.
Right. So how then can I still cannot wrap my brain around the justice minister going to Parliament did not consult the opposition and just changing the constitution.
But it's how they did it, Maria. It was never on the schedule in Parliament. Remember that?
Right. Yes.
And Michael Phillips sent us the schedule. He made it public. It was never there. So they ramrodded it through in one day.
Which is not what the Constitution says. So why then have a Constitution if you're not going to adhere to the Constitution? And if you're going to swear an oath to uphold the Constitution and you're not doing it, then should you not demit office?
Yep.
Of course.
All of them need to resign. But that's
all of them need to resign. Because you have the minister who's responsible for constitutional reform. She did not step up to the plate and say, no, this is not what the Constitution says. Because it doesn't matter what country, when it comes to the Constitution, you don't mess about with the Constitution. You just don't.
Her office is a sham.
It's a joke. It's a joke. This is a joke.
Because she was saying, oh, look, they come up with a document now. Was that UN? That's it, in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
The same proposal that they're talking about now to have a non-executive president replace the governor general. That was the proposal they had in 2016. So that was a promise. That was a promise they made that they were going to do this back in 2016. And it never happened. And now they come out and they're trying to make it look like they consulting with the community. They already have decided what they're going to do. And if they can ramrod through something like that, this is those positions, hers and the Auditor General, are what they call them. Is that accepted positions or something like that? They have a term for it. Because those positions, you have to get the opposition to vote along with.
Yeah, so you have to consult with the opposition. You have to. And you can't leave out the opposition, and you have to have some independent. You have to have some independent people. You can't just choose 10 people that alone around you to just please themselves. It's impossible. You understand? So you can't just come and say we're gonna change up that time. But when them a change for? If you just change for one man, it don't make no sense. It don't make no sense.
Interpreting the
but we just have to try to keep our arena and keep them from going to prison, you know. Them still have to go to prison. And that them a do.
Yeah, but wait.
Them a circumvent the thing.
Right. And if interpreting the Constitution to the letter of the law, it makes the DPP extension illegal. Right, Herb?
Right.
Of course.
Right.
So the Jamaica should not have a DPP come September when her term expires, because it's supposed to expire. Based on the Constitution, she should not have an extension.
Right. Now, I understand she had to take leave. Leave because they took it to court.
I think she take leave now.
Yeah, she take leave now because her time would be up at the end of next month.
And then the opposition, oh, by the way, the opposition carry them a court for this, you know.
Yeah, that's what.
So you have the misinformation minister Buglife talk about him a blame fire because them take them a court, a sue them. Say that piece of crap. You don't know what it's fine, man. It's just wet to man.
Yeah, and Andrew Honest.
The misinformation minister Buglife. Be a foolishness, you know.
No, but
house and contaminated, man. Who vote for them people, man?
But wait, he is one problem. Andrew Honest himself could not understand why the opposition leader took umbrage to the fact that they are just ran this through the parliament without going through the rules as the Constitution sets it out. Yep. And I'm saying to myself, if you're the Prime Minister and you're asking that question, then clearly you don't know what the Constitution asks for. And if you're doing that, then what is it that you have to hide? Who is she protecting? Because certainly she's not doing the job of the people of Jamaica. Your job. You're a lawyer.
Yeah, man. Maria, hold on a minute. Because Ratty, shout up so. Yeah, Ratty, you know you're still up on the road. Yes.
Yeah,
What brother? Yeah, man.
Everything good?
Yeah, man, we're there. I go and hold on the ends, you know. You know, say, you know, no, you're under the pressure, see you here.
Yeah, Maria arguing like a Supreme Court lawyer here.
Herbs Maria argue like a Supreme Court lawyer.
Maria was going like this silence, but Maria full of potential and articulate and the whole works. You know it already, you know, but you just hold it down.
Hey, give me a rundown about the thing was set up here now and everything. Give the people them a rundown on it now. Because them will want you to know if you start not them, you know, street and lane, you know. Yes, man.
Yeah, we'll start the IRS approved the tax exempt status for the foundation. The foundation is called the One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation. And the whole purpose of it is to hold the government, this government, any government, accountable through lawsuits. Wherever we can find jurisdiction, whether it's in the UK, Canada, the US, or Jamaica. And that's one way we'll do it. The second way we're going to look at dealing with the issues in Jamaica is public relations. Like, you know, the beach access thing is a big thing. And we need to get the government to sign off so that every Jamaican can have access to the beaches. Not just those with money who can become guests at these resorts, but anybody in Jamaica should have access to the beach. So that's a second one. The third way we're going to deal with the issues in Jamaica is by looking at the politicians and the public servants we believe to be, but not necessarily corrupt, but them have unexplained wealth. You know, you have a job where you pay your $1, but somehow you manage, and you don't win the lottery, you don't inherit anything, but you can buy a house for $100, right? or $1,000 when you only earn $1. It don't make any sense. So we're going to look at assets in Jamaica and outside of Jamaica. And all we're asking is for people to donate to the cause. And we're looking for $100 US if you can afford it. If you can afford more than that, then that's fine. But that's the threshold we're looking at. Some people know will probably only send $20 or $30. That's fine. And the purpose of the fund is to hold the government accountable. So if you have a problem with your neighbor, we cannot help you. Unless your neighbor is a government minister and his actions have something to do with the government. But if you have a personal problem with your neighbor, your relative, your friend, whatever, then you have to go seek a civil attorney to deal with that. We won't deal with that. We just primarily focus on the government. So that was approved, and I went to the bank to get the account open, and it should be open this week. So once it's open, we're going to set up a website, and we're going to have funding mechanisms so that people can Zelle the money in, wire the money in, personal check, cash, whatever. You just send the money in. And we have an audit on board so that the money, people don't have to worry about where the money is going. We won't release any information about the donors, who's giving, because that's personal information. But people will know how the money is being spent. There'll be an audit for that. So that's what's coming up next week. And hopefully everybody who's listening will make a contribution to it. Because that's the only way that we think we're going to be able to affect real change in Jamaica once we start holding these people accountable in court. So that's the news for now, brother.
Good. And next thing, you know, Mr. the Prime Minister, the Prime Minister go up on one of the Chinese road, you know, so they get 50-year concession, right? 50 years, you know. And the man had say, you know, when say, let me just repeat what him say. The man say something about independence and for walk on your own road. Never play it back. Be independent and for walk on your own road. Remember in an hour road, you know, we have to pay for the road, you know, we have to drive and pay feet. You might have tell if you go break, if you go do jaywalking, but a busy road, you walk on your own road and I walk in the Duke Dual Cabbage road. So that's the PR stunt. What happened to this Prime Minister, man? What kind of foolishness this, man? The infrastructure where we come from, where you come from, it not fix, brother. It don't fix. them to stop the PR because road is not a thing for your model with and model around. We have to go pay back for the road, by the way. Because the money we borrow for do all these things. And you know, people can't walk on the road like that and talk about independence. For we be true independence, because we're dependent now, and you know, we're collecting around the ratty. Right? So for we be independent, we will be self-reliance, man. Not true.
Sometimes it's just surprising the things that the Prime Minister, and not just him, but some of the government officials, some of the things that they say, it just shakes your head because you can't believe it. You can't believe these are the people that you actually elected to represent your interest, and then they come on and tell you this foolishness, nonsense. Yeah, and it's almost as if, and they tell you with a straight face, still as if they expect you to believe it. And unfortunately, some of us believe it.
But you have people like us, Ratty. We stop that. We hold them to account. When them come with the foolishness, we fact check them. And we show the people them. That's why them just say rubbish. Come with something else. Him have to get people to write better script, give him and them thing. They can't go mag up on the road this and talk foolishness like we hear, man. We know night, Ratty.
By the way, forgive my manners, man. I want to big up to Maria, big up to Herb, and big up to your listening and viewing audience.
Yes.
Getting back to that, where I say, yeah, it's, you know, I just hope that people pay attention to what going on, pay attention to the message that you send out, you know. And again, the message we send out is not one based on hearsay or innuendos or just dream this up. These are based on facts, and for the most part, it's things what they say themselves.
And that's what I know.
Yeah, all of them accountable to their own words.
Thank you.
Listen, this is what the man is saying now. How can we go back into this thing and the man already proved to us who they are? The man already show you who they are.
Of course.
I mean, the promises make and the promises unkept.
Yeah, man.
Go back to the one in 2016 and say them going to give the legislation to remove the Queen at the head of it. That was 2016, you know. That was 2016, and I know. And they're thinking about it, you know. They said they are going to do it in 2016.
What
still not get done.
Ratty, what happened to the one with them said they are gonna make sure, you know, that office, the Prime Minister have term limit from 2016.
Right, term limit. That was made in 2016.
And him have fight for that term now. Him forgot to him say it. So I think term limit, them that put it in. Say do a 2 term and you go home.
Anybody who question that, all you need to do is listen to his speech when he said that. And if you can't get to the speech, just Google Governor General throne speech 2016 and read that. It's in there. The throne speech made by the Governor General. It's in there where them say that them going to I forgot the page number, but them going some of the things I'm going to do for that for 2016. And one of them was term limits for the Prime Minister. That was 2016. And up to now, no such thing. And it won't happen like that. He's not going to make any legislation for that.
No, they don't want to do that. They don't want to do it. So that tell the people them straight out lie. Yeah? And they will tell them again, no Prime Minister. But what we want to do, Ratty, and we promote this straight. We want to tell the people them say, yeah, we don't hold them accountable. There is no way you would find me, Ratty, Maria, Herb. So we down in Jamaica, we have vote. I will not vote for no member of parliament where you can get all 5 terms. Me not vote if you come about 1 term and you say you don't know nothing about politics, I'm going to vote for you. And you know do what you say you do, you can't get back my vote, you know. It's impossible. Impossible. You Ratty? Man, they 5 term, 6 term, and I say, oh, me there are 6 term, and when you look up here, gonna fire. Pay your family and then everything. And then when them come on, him give a bone with them face palette, disrespect you know. And I mean not for put up the house with them face palette. And give a caboose work. But when you look him and him wife and everybody else, big work. And them live in a big house and you live under tree like goat. No food for them and I call him your boss. If me not get a job, me not get no job, brother. Me not do it. The people them have to start think out of the box. That's what you have to.
Keep on upbeat the message, and you have to keep on upbeat the message. To reinforce the message, and that's the only way I think that people will actually pay attention. Because if we say it one time, yeah, them listen and say, yeah, it sounds good, blah, 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 but then them just go back and do the same to over. So we have to make them understand that. Listen, we have to vote for the present and the future. You can't vote for the past. You have to vote for what's happening now and what's to come, your children's future. And if a politician is not doing what he promised to do, like fix roads, provide jobs, healthcare, education, housing, infrastructure. If none of them things are happening, then you need to make a change. You need to make a change. You can't. If a man has failed, you can't vote people for failing even more. That don't make any sense. That's against the best interest. No. And remember, when you vote for a politician, and he promise you and don't deliver, young person disappointed at you and him, because he might get a big salary, he might have power. So, and you, where you have nothing, when you get a two-piece chicken and a baseball cap or something like that.
Yeah, with him face for it.
And that's it.
With him face for it.
That's the value of your vote. Yeah, that's the value of your vote. Two-piece chicken with a t-shirt. And that's supposed to feel if you want to take care of you and your family now for the next 4 years, right?
Yeah.
Nonsense.
And then Ratty, you want me just raise the argument, right? Remember, the Prime Minister spent over 1.8 billion US. That it come up to 176 billion with a B. That's the biggest money them spend, and them spend it on security, right? So the man spend this money for weapon of mass destruction to destroy we get to you. Not the people them uptown, and them have the court, and them have both say him and the administration and spend the most money for weapon of mass destruction. We kill our own people them. What a goddamn shame. Eh?
The court ruled about 2 weeks ago. The court ruled said essentially the Supreme Court Supreme Court case that was stopped saying that the state of emergency unconstitutional.
But we say that time.
Yeah, it was 3 weeks ago. Government appeal, and the Court of Appeal just them said right now, boy, we didn't know about it. We don't have no jurisdiction to overrule what the lower court judge said. Them just said them not no jurisdiction. So that means that the lower court decision stands now, which is that the state of emergency, as implemented by the police, that and the government, that they're unconstitutional. And now guess what? No, the same. Imagine this, right? The same people with them oppressed. The people that have to turn and appeal the civil judgment,
Yes.
Because the man still want to get money now,
Yes.
For what happened to the unlawful detention. And the taxpayer for turn around and pay them people.
Not out of freedom pocket, but taxpayer.
No, taxpayer, not out of freedom pocket. No.
Taxpayer for pay it. Eh? For foolishness. I don't got that now. So you lock them up and give them you do all kind of things to them, and then you turn around and want to feed them brothers and cousins and never know for come turn police, because police are leaving Joe. So when Ron James did that, Corporal James, him did right. Him said them are leave. Them say I'm a tell. But me see them in the paper since week I said how much of them are leave and all kind of things and how much of them are retire. So them getting 500 and add. Like 500 and what? 60 odd. But you still over 600 and add leave and retire in a 1 year. So it a widen some little gap there. You understand?
Yeah.
So and then you bring in some young one. You bring in some young one when you have the skills and nothing at all. I remember them on probation same way, Yeah? You just get 6 months and train them and put them on road. That don't make no sense. You mash up the country. They might
serious problem, because what happened is there is a big gap between the experienced ones and the inexperienced ones. You don't have anyone to really bridge that gap there. And so where have you going to end up with a
back and everything. Yeah.
Most the rookies, inexperienced, and them will cause problems. They're going to cause problems, and they're going to have to suffer the consequences of that. So you know, when them, like I said, when them call them talk foolishness, we need to just throw them out of the rubbish can.
That we are doing.
You know, we need, yeah, just throw them out of the rubbish can because it's just nonsense. And not making any sense for them people out there with them at all. No sense whatsoever. But again, we can only we can highlight the issue. And pretty soon people like me and you are as well, you know, we hold them accountable in our court, and then we do other things as well. But the one thing we can't do is give up the fight. You know, we can't just say, well, let them do what they want to do, yeah, man. Because I've quite a few people out. A few people say to me, say, boy, you should just give up the fight. Don't worry about getting involved. Let the people in Jamaica deal with it because they're ungrateful. And when they try help, all them do is turn on and start with the politicians, them, and so them not need no help. Meanwhile, them are suffer. So
the reality is, we are spending sending like 4 billion every year, you know, and keep up the country, you know. And them have to know that. True. Not the politician. Politician, them give themselves rate to pay 200%. I got 200%. So if we are all up the place, and if we can't stop sending more money, when last ever, hey, Maria, Ratty, Herb, whenever they bought her yet, and call somebody from Jamaica and say, boy, me need a 50 grand US, 50,000 US, and it's sent from Ghana yet.
No.
We don't want around 100,000. No, we have to send money down there every day, every week, every month. Eh?
Yeah, never had that experience.
You never have that experience there. You never have it yet, Herb.
No.
When them send money come give you, up in them place, give you or something. Irati, them send money for you every week, every month. Yeah? Not sure you. So that's why you see our business now, because if we could have stopped said and do our thing, but we can't because them are suffer. And we are show them can't so evil to themselves that they are vote for a man. I'm gonna tell them again, Ratty, look on this now. Can you imagine a man in a constituency and you have vote for him call him your dan, and the amount of gun a bus in that the place that you sleep on the tree like goat. You know, and you know, you have a good bed. But when you look the amount of place him have and the amount of apartment and the amount of get bigger every 4 years or 5 years, you have vote back for this man. He's a goddamn ass said. If you continue doing these things, the man will continue this year. Eh? You have to change up that. Me not gonna work. I mean, your boss, you have to come talk to me. You can't carry me around bad. That's why I choose not to drink. Remember, we know one guy, you know, so them can't catch me, you know. I'm number one. If them bring even a bucket of water, I know. Them can't juke it with an injection, nigga. I not drink from them neither. So I know one guy, I not even want them water, brother. You understand? Yeah, man. Can I remember them a suspect in my eye, you know? I'm the man of the wilderness, you know. Yeah, so, me not trust them. Me not trust none of them. You understand? No, sir. See? So not even water me that want from them. Yeah, sir, man. Yeah, man. Serious the way they Ratty, man. Yeah, man. But anyway, Ratty, at the tail part, I have to make you go and go do what you're doing, because I say, we reach your time up here, so you know, say, uncle like a dog, you know, so you know, so I'm going to finish. But then, eh? All right, that's not my brother. See you later, you know. But there, you know. All right, cool. That's up. Yeah, man. Yes, sister, I know some my time to eat my food and know, I have to put some nice dinner and them things. Just eat something, you know, so I just, I'm hungry like a dog, you know. I make sure I eat something before, you know. You know, me like sound it. You get the nigga right, so me eat, you know. So, you know, yeah, time for eat my dinner, you know. Finish for the thing, you know. Yeah, man, you know, when I'm not already, a man in the wilderness, when you get when afraid. Maria? Yeah, man. Yes. Somebody asked him, they say, yes, there's the magazine.
Much respects, my brother.
Yeah, man. You see that one on the screen? Yes, that's Daisy Magazine.
Yes, I see it. Yes, thank you so much.
Man, it's on the screen. That's Daisy Magazine. So when I see it, I just want to subscribe, yeah? I remember when I have a chance to win a $500. No for one there, I want to log off and make sure subscribe. Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. I want to think now, but yeah, this, yeah, why I'm not in upset or Trish. Me, remember, so that's me and my wife and my kids, them, and I'm good, you know. So, I can't end up like the man, then I lie out, because, you know, see, not even water, I want from them, you know. Them can't give me water, them, and them pass filthy. Yeah, you know, so I'm good. Great. You understand? Yeah, man. Remember, this not a one got first, you know. And the man that the wilderness, you know, I'm good. Yeah, man. All right, there. Herb.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Later. Yeah, man. Be a salute. Sister. Later.
You all have a good week.
All right. Have a good night, yeah?
And
Bless.
blessings to all your listeners here.
Yes, man. Bless up. Bless up.
Bless up.